gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Just a beautiful night for baseball here in Cleveland as the fans pour into Progressive Field. Maybe their last chance to see the Yankee captain Derek Jeter in action. As tonight, the YES Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It'll be the Yankees and the Cleveland Indians in Game 4 of a 4-game series from Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. Hi, everybody. Ken Singleton with David Cohn tonight. This is the 4th and final game. The Yankees have taken 2 of the first 3. It took a while last night, but the Yankees turned on the power, David, and they picked up a victory.
Well, they did. You had to wait around a long time for it, but it was Teixeira that really got it going, at least on the home run side, kind of digging out a curveball on a solo shot in the 4th inning, and then he's going to come right back up in the next inning in the 5th, and this time a man's on. A 2-run shot, and that's a fastball that's hit a long, long way. So good sign for the Yankees and Teixeira with a multi-home run game. And then about 3 hours later and 9 innings later, Jacoby Ellsbury comes up in the 14th on an 0-2 slider and loses it deep into the right field seats. That was a huge blow for the Yankees to get to the Indians late in that game. What a big night for Jacoby Ellsbury. And then that takes us to tonight's starters.
Well, the Chevy pitching matchup tonight. T.J. House getting his first ever start against the New York Yankees. He's in there against David Phelps, who's been pitching well of late. Phelps with a record of 3-4 and a 4.01 ERA. Looking at the Yankee lineup tonight, a young man is back in it. Yangervis Solarte, the first half sensation. Well, he slumped off, but now he's back tonight. Lineup's first pitch baseball here on YES. Continue the series with the Indians live from Progressive Field. And Yankees baseball and YES is brought to you in part by Buick. Visit TriStateBuick.com for great lease offers. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By the Syracuse Orange, New York's college team. And by your Tri-State BMW Centers. Well, as far as weather goes, this is the best of the 4 nights here in Cleveland as the Yankees get ready to take on the Indians. The Yankees have taken 2 of the first 3, including that 14-inning affair last night. We're going to take a look at the weather conditions brought to you by Bigelow Tea. The temperature 72 degrees, very comfortable. Humidity is down 59%. The wind at 9 miles per hour, and the forecast is mostly clear and pleasant. And we're getting ready to go in just a few moments here. The Indians have yet to take the field, but the lineups have been exchanged. And David, last night, the way the Yankees played, to pull that one out, it was really a good team effort.
Yeah, indeed, especially late in the 14th inning on the road. Sean Kelly, the MVP of the game, other than Jacoby Ellsbury. What a great job he did, and really saying after the game he feels like he's all the way back as well.
Well, there is a 24-year-old left-hander, T.J. House, who's going to make his first ever start against the Yankees. And this is the lineup he will be facing, presented by Lexus. Brett Gardner's back in there tonight. He'll be in left field and leading off. Derek Jeter will be at shortstop. Jacoby Ellsbury will be in center field. Batting cleanup, last night's hitting hero, Mark Teixeira. He'll be at first base. The designated hitter is Brian McCann. Francisco Cervelli will be doing the catching. Zealous Wheeler will be in right field tonight. Yangervis Solarte, back from AAA, will be at third base. And Brendan Ryan will bat ninth, and he'll be at second.
Get a look at the left-hander starting for the Indians tonight, T.J. House. Not a big-time name or a prospect. He was a 16th round draft choice in 2008, but really made his way through the system and has got an opportunity in the rotation. And the numbers aren't bad. Good control. Only 9 walks in 40 1/3 innings. We'll go ahead and give you your pitcher scouting report, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And what a relief. He made his Major League Baseball debut on May 17th of this year versus Oakland. 1 inning out of the bullpen that was scoreless. And so far this year, been kind of hittable. I mean, as far as average against goes, opponents are batting .307 against him this season. Righties at a .317 clip, and lefties are hitting .290. And last was a first. He picked up his first Major League victory in his last start on July 5th versus the Royals, allowing 3 runs in 6 2/3 innings. So he's good to go now. He's got the first out of the way.
That was last Saturday when he beat Kansas City. Young man who had committed to Tulane University, born in Mississippi, now lives in Slidell, Louisiana. But the Indians drafted him, as David told you, and he decided to sign and turn professional. Started the year at AAA Columbus, was 1-2 with a 2.40 ERA down at AAA. Brett Gardner back in the lineup tonight. Remember, if Gardner has that streak going, he has reached safely in 23 consecutive games, and he is 3 for 8 in this series. He missed last night's game with an abdominal strain, but he's ready to go tonight, and so are we. Here's the first pitch, and it's inside for ball 1. If the Yankees win this game, they will duplicate what they did in Minnesota in the previous 4-game series when they won 3 out of 4. That pitch is a little outside, ball 2. Well, this is the way weather should be at all times.
It's like San Diego, right? 72 degrees.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more humid out here.
The 2-0 pitch. Hit on the ground towards first, and Santana has it. He'll step on the bag, and there's 1 up and 1 down. Check out the Cleveland Indians on defense, presented by Geico. Let's start with the outfield from left to right. Chris Dickerson in left. Michael Brantley in center. David Murphy in right. Lonnie Chisenhall at third. Asdrubal Cabrera at short. Jason Kipnis at second. Carlos Santana at first. And making his Major League debut catching is Roberto Perez. There is Mr. Perez behind the plate. Just called up from Columbus. And the pitch to Jeter is in there for a called strike.
Yeah, it was nice to see Derek Jeter kind of welcome the young catcher, give him a little tap on the shin guard. Old bull and the young bull.
Little roller foul, and count is no balls and 2 strikes. You'll see a lot of off-speed pitches from T.J. House. Changes speeds, as David told you, not a hard thrower. Those are Jeter's numbers on the season. He's 3 for 14 in this series. And 2 of those hits came in last night's game. Inside for a ball. And with those 2 hits, Derek now has 999 multi-hit games in his career. Well, the next one, he can get 2 hits here tonight. Number 1,000. Nice round number. A little roller by the mound. Going to be a tough play. Santana flips, and Jeter is going to be safe. And we'll see how they score that. It should probably be a base hit. And Jeter is halfway to a multi-hit game. It's going to be an infield single.
Indeed it is. Tough play for a lefty as you fall off towards third. He's got to get over there, and he does break in time, but a little circuitous route, and that is not the way you teach it. Very dangerous. T.J. House finds himself right in the line. Derek Jeter runs up his back, and that could have ended up a lot worse than it did.
They're looking for the bag, the ball, and the runner. And Jeter safe with an infield single. And overall, that is hit number 3,404, which places him 15 behind Carl Yastrzemski on the all-time list for number 7. Here's Jacoby Ellsbury. His home run in the 14th inning provided the winning margin for the Yankees. He takes a pitch high for ball 1.
You know, I guess T.J. House thought he had a chance to go field that ground ball, but that was already by him by the time he kind of made a right-hand turn to get back to the bag.
Ellsbury has made a habit of getting big hits in extra innings. He's 5 for 10 with 2 homers in extra innings this year. That pitch is in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. He's the first player to hit 2 extra inning homers in one season since Curtis Granderson in 2010. There is strike 2, 1-2. Ellsbury had 3 hits there last night. He was a triple shy of the cycle. The 1-2 pitch is just a little bit outside. 2-2.
You can kind of see how T.J. House would be tough on lefties. You know, kind of a slinging crossfire action.
I would imagine he and Roberto Perez worked together in the minor leagues this year. Hit in the air to left field for Chris Dickerson, who right in his tracks makes the catch for out number 2. Hit pretty well by Jacoby Ellsbury. Fans, a reminder, Yankee Baseball is available in Spanish by hitting the SAP button on your remote. SAP is brought to you by Infinity. So Jeter remains at first. There are 2 down. It'll bring up Mark Teixeira, the switch hitter batting right-handed tonight against the lefty. Teixeira with 2 home runs here last night. All home runs are for the distance, but the second one was really well hit. 394 feet. There's a throw to first. In fact, I looked it up to see who has hit the longest home run here in the history of Progressive Field. There used to be Jacobs Field. There's Jim Thome, as you might expect. He hit one 511 feet in right center field. Teixeira lines one towards right center field. It's going to be in there for a base hit. Jeter around second. He's on his way to third. And with the 2-out single, now the Yankees have runners on the corners. So Mark Teixeira with a solid single to right center.
Well, good sign for Teixeira and the Yankees, as you saw those numbers in breakdown, batting right-handed, just a little over 200, but he's always been prone to go the other way right-handed, as opposed to left-handed, where he's more of a pull-style hitter. And Jeter, easy read right there, going to cruise on into third, first and third, and got a little action here with 1 out.
I think Teixeira,
2 outs,
especially from the left side, that's the Yankee Stadium influence, trying to pull the ball. Here's Brian McCann. And House deals to the Yankee designated hitter tonight, and it's in there for a call strike. McCann's had 5 hits in this series and 14 at-bats. The series will end tonight, and the Yankees will fly on to Baltimore for a 3-game series to finish up the action before the All-Star break. McCann overall on this trip has done pretty well, 7 for 23.
And he has said that he feels a lot better swinging the bat.
Outside for a ball, and it's 1-1.
He actually attributed some of his first half troubles to mechanical issues, and working hard with Kevin Long in the cage, he said that he thinks he's figured it out. He feels much more comfortable with the plate.
Had a sacrifice fly here in last night's game. Ball breaks off the glove, no advance by the runners. And it's a little inside of McCann, and it's 2-1. Yankees threatening here in the first inning. And you can see Roberto Perez looking over to the dugout. He'll be doing a lot of that tonight, getting help from the coaching staff. McCann takes strike 2, 2-2. Try and work him through this Yankee lineup. Looks like fastball away is the call. 2-2 pitch is way outside, and that's ball 3. So with a 3-2 pitch, Teixeira will be off and running. Carlos Santana is going to play behind the runner. There's Brad Mills, the bench coach. He's been with Terry Francona for a long time. They were college roommates at the University of Arizona. Been together 11 years at the major league level. Pitches low, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. An appeal. McCann did not swing. 3-2 changeup. So that will load the bases for Francisco Cervelli. Now Cervelli went 0 for 3 in the first game in the series, but that was not his contribution. With Shane Green on the mound, he did an excellent job of getting him through the ball game. And he's up with the bases loaded here in the first inning. And Cervelli actually swung the bat well in Minnesota in the first stop on this trip. He had 5 hits. 3 one day and 2 the next. House delivers, and it's in there for a called strike. Fastball, that's about topping out for House at 91. Oh, those are excellent numbers. 435 with the bases loaded and a grand slam. Those are the guys who are relaxed in these situations. The pitcher's the one in trouble. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Well, maybe now Cervelli's in a little trouble. He's in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes.
Kind of what we were talking about last night. You know, every hitter wants to step out of the box every pitch. In this situation, there's Cervelli regathering his thoughts a little bit.
The 0-2 pitch, swung on it, missed, strike 3, another changeup. So House gets out of it. He leaves the bases full, and David Phelps will be hitting the mound in the bottom of the first inning for the Yankees. First inning, here's the lineup he's going to face. Made out by Terry Francona, the Cleveland Indian manager. Jason Kipnis will lead it off at second. Asdrubal Cabrera will be at short. Michael Brantley will be in center field. Carlos Santana will clean up. He'll be at first base. Lonnie Chisenhall is at third. David Murphy will be in right field. Nick Swisher, the former Yankee, will be the designated hitter. Chris Dickerson is in left field, and Roberto Perez doing the catching, and he will bat ninth.
There's David Phelps, the pride of Notre Dame University. Maybe one of the best pitchers to ever come out of Notre Dame. You know, Aaron Heilman, a former Met, was also a good one. You see his numbers on the year.
Jeff
Samardzija, that's right. Yes, the football player. Had a great career there. Phelps has been much better as of late, and now finds himself as probably the number 2 starter in the Yankees rotation as it stands right now. Go ahead and give you the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And one for the road. Well, he's only got 1 win and 8 starts on the road this season with a 4 3/4 ERA as opposed to a 2.57 ERA at home at Yankee Stadium. So looking to get a little better on the road, and 2 and under He's allowed 2 runs or fewer in 4 of his last 5 outings, going 2-0 over that span. So as we said, really starting to get a feel for it. And roll with 7. You know, the Yankees used 7 relief pitchers last night. So obviously Joe Girardi, the manager, is looking for some length out of Phelps tonight. You know he knows it. Everybody's hoping for it. So that's a mindset you have as a starting pitcher, realizing, hey, I've got to throw strikes. I've got to give ourselves a chance to win a game, and also I've got to get deep into this game to help that bully out.
That's true. Last start in Minnesota, he went 7 innings. Just 3 hits and 1 run. It was a home run to Josh Willingham that tied the game. Pitch to Kipnis is in there for a call strike. Overall, Phelps is 2-0 in his last 5 starts. Opponents are hitting only .205 against him over that period. Pitches in there for a strike, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Against the Cleveland Indians, he's 1-1 in his career. Kipnis, Cabrera, and Brantley for Cleveland. 3 left-handed batters in the first inning. Curveball in the dirt. Kipnis wouldn't chase. Kipnis 4 for 15 in this series and 3 stolen bases. He's done very well in these situations. Leading off innings, he's 15 for 47. That's the 319 clip. Just outside for a ball. Last night, Kipnis had a hit leading off the first inning. And the night before, he had a hit leading off the first inning. Full count, 3-2.
Well, the dreaded 0-2 to 3-2 for a pitcher. Kind of allowing the hitter right back into the count after having him down.
Payoff pitch on the way, and it's nubbed foul by Kipnis.
You know, even though David Phelps gets a really good amount of strikeouts, most of them are of the looking variety. You know, he doesn't get his share of swing and misses. He really kind of paints the corners with cutters and swing back 2-seam fastballs on lefties. So really goes for the corners and gets a lot of called third strikes.
Long look at the sign, and Kipnis asks for time, and it's granted by home plate umpire Brian Knight. There's a certain time frame for each and every pitch, and it gets too long, but somebody's going to call timeout. And Kipnis gets a leadoff walk, and he's on. There's the Yankees defense, brought to you by Geico. Gardner, Ellsbury, Wheeler in left field tonight. His first start in the outfield. Solarte, Jeter, Ryan, and Teixeira in the infield. Cervelli doing the catching. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera, the longest tenured member of this current Cleveland Indian team. He's been here since 2007. He's had 4 hits and 14 at bats over the first 3 games. And the first pitch to him is poured in there for a call strike. Cabrera usually sure-handed. He's made 14 errors this year, which is the second most in the league. Only Josh Donaldson of the Oakland A's, the all-star Josh Donaldson, has made more. He's made 15. Here's another pitch for a call strike, and it's 0-2. There was one season a couple of years ago where it seemed like every night Cabrera was making a highlight play, flipping behind his back, throwing from his rump to first base and get people out. Solid shortstop. That pitch is low and inside, 1-2.
Cervelli can't believe it. He almost did the Statue of Liberty back there before he threw the ball back. And here's the swing back 2-seamer. That looks like it's right there. And watch Cervelli kind of reach up like Roman Gabriel in the old Statue of Liberty play by a quarterback. Can't wait for the running back to come back behind and pick it up. Obviously, Cervelli thinks this is a strike, and
it looked pretty good to me. Here's a throw over the first to check on Kipnis.
Did I drop a Roman Gabriel Statue of Liberty?
Roman Gabriel.
The old Statue of Liberty play, right?
The Rams aren't even in Los Angeles anymore. The 1-2 pitch, and there is call, strike 3. Cabrera caught looking. So a walk and a strikeout to open it up for David Phelps.
Well, this is classic Phelps from corner to corner. This time, instead of the swing back two-seamer, this is the backdoor cutter. Right to the edge. And that's why Phelps gets a lot of his strikeouts looking. Because they look like they're balls, and then at the last minute they move and catch the corners. And that's his style. He's a movement specialist. And when he's right, he's going to get a lot of called third strikes.
Yeah, 72 strikeouts on the year. 39 of them are called third strikes. No other pitcher has more than 50% of his strikeouts on called third strikes. Ball breaks away from Cervelli, but no advance by the runner. All-star outfielder Michael Brantley at the plate. And he's up there with a 6-game hitting streak. Brantley lined out to Almonte in left field last night. When the ball was first hit, it looked like it might have a chance. Almonte kind of caught it over his shoulder to end the ball game. 6 for 14 with a home run and 3 runs batted in.
This is not the guy you want to see up with a chance to win the game or beat you. There's one guy in that lineup. You try to pitch around if you can.
Outside for a ball. Want to make it 2-0. We were talking about David, his ability to put the bat on the ball. Only 4% of the pitches that are thrown to him this year, all the pitches that he's seen, he has swung and missed. That would tell you he's got a short, quick swing. He's taken that one, and there's a strike, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, that's impressive. You know, you would think, especially because he's got some pop too. I mean, he's got some gap power. He's got some home run power. You would think maybe he'd swing and miss a little more than he does, considering the slugging percentage that he features, but he does not. There's really no weaknesses in this young man's game right now, defensively, offensively, and base running.
Kipnis thought about going, he doesn't. And there's a base hit, and Brantley now has had a 7-game hitting streak. So Cleveland has 2 on with 1 out. And that's their first hit of the game.
Well, just hits it where it's pitched. This is what Kenny's talking about. A real short stride, almost no stride. And the pitch is away, and he takes it away.
That's about his 3rd hit in this series to the opposite field. But you got to be careful with him. If you get one on the inner half, he can pull it. So now the cleanup hitter will come to the plate, Carlos Santana. His average barely over 200 at 208. The Yankees have held him to a 2 for 12 in the first 3 games here. And the pitch is low and inside for ball 1. Runners in scoring position. It's been a down year for Carlos Santana. A ball and a strike. Phelps hits the outside corner. Yankees are looking for the ground ball to get out of the inning.
I don't know if there's a wider differential between a batting average and an on-base percentage of anybody in the big leagues than Santana.
Pitch is fouled off, knocks the mask off the face of Francisco Cervelli.
Got a 208 batting average.
Yeah.
And a 352 on base percentage, and you see this foul tip right off the mask.
I'll tell you, 352 is respectable, but imagine if he was hitting, he'd be up over 40%. Santana, of course, played for the WBC team last year from the Dominican Republic, which was led by Tony Pena to the championship. They didn't lose a game.
Got 61 walks on the year and 75 strikeouts, so he likes to eyeball a lot of pitches.
He eyeballed that one, but it's called strike 3. So a couple of called third strikes for the 2 outs in this inning. Cabrera and now Santana. And there's 2 outs and 2 on.
Well, now that home plate umpire Brian Knight has seen this pitch, this one's not as good as the last one, in my opinion, but sometimes you stay right there, show him that kind of movement. Hey, Cervelli tells him, hey, his ball comes back. This time Brian Knight likes what he sees and rings up Carlos Santana.
So 2 outs and 2 on. It'll bring up the number 5 hitter, Lonnie Chisenhall. And that pitch is going to miss inside for ball 1. Chisenhall has had 12 at bats in the 3 previous games of the series and only has 1 hit. And in fact, he's had a slow homestand. He's 3 for 22. There's a strike, 1-1. The Royals were here before the Yankees. And now he is qualified. He has enough at bats to qualify, and he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th in the league with 325. 2 Indians in the top 5. High fly ball to left center. Gardner calling off Ellsbury, and it's going to be Gardner who makes the catch. And the Indians will leave 2 men on here in the first inning. We played 1. No score here in Cleveland. Activities at Target Field in Minnesota on Tuesday night, July 15th, beginning at 7:30. Turn to Fox for the sparkling action of the Midsummer Classic as the captain, Derek Jeter, takes the field for his final All-Star appearance in what promises to be an emotional and unforgettable night. Don't miss the 85th All-Star game next Tuesday on Fox. Second inning here in Cleveland. And Zealous Wheeler, the right fielder, making his first ever major league start in the outfield. And he takes a pitch from T.J. House outside ball 1. We've seen Wheeler start at third. We've seen him play some second base as well. And the count evens at a ball and a strike. But this spring training, the Yankees put him in the outfield a few times just to see what he could do out there. When the ball came to him, he threw it back.
It's obviously out of necessity with Carlos Beltran going on the 7-day concussion DL.
Yeah, we should mention that. Thank you, David. Ball is hit high in the inner center. A lazy fly ball from Michael Brantley. He'll make the catch for the out. And tonight's injury report brought to you by Montefiore Medical Center, Inspired Medicine. And on the 7-day concussion disabled list, we told you yesterday that Carlos Beltran had fouled the ball off the cage and off one of the metal struts. The ball came back and hit him, and it was determined he had a concussion. Also broke his nose in a couple of spots. And they called up Yangervis Solarte. And Yangervis, while he was into AAA, he was hitting like he didn't want to stay there very long. He was 12 for 20. That's 600, folks. Now he's back in the big league. And he told Meredith Marakovits before the game he was more aggressive at the plate.
Well, it's a good story. I mean, he did not pout. He just went down. He did his job and forced his way back up here.
The 0-2 pitch, a little check swing, and it's going to be a tough play for Kipnis. Charges, flips underhanded to Santana, and there's 2 down. Nice play by the Indian second baseman.
Once this check swing gets by the pitcher, then there's a chance that Solarte is going to beat it out. But Kipnis with a good little flip play and gets there in plenty of time.
You see this on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. And by 2 or 3 steps. 2 outs for Brendan Ryan. And Ryan will take a pitch outside for ball 1. Ryan was 0 for 5 last night with a walk. They struck out swinging his first 4 times at the plate. We'll strike out here, grounded to short for Cabrera. He'll throw to Santana, and the Yankees go in order here in the second inning. The end of an inning and a half here in Cleveland. T.J. House has kept the Yankees off the board. On the only official home run derby mobile game from MLB.com. Square off against your friends from around the world, live in multiplayer derby mode, and climb to the top of the leaderboards. Download today for free on the Apple App Store and Google Play. It's got to be a lot of fun. When you're playing against people from around the world, you got to take into account the time zones that some of these people are playing these video games on.
Professional gamers nowadays, well, they're making money doing that.
Here's David Murphy. And Murphy came very close to winning last night's ball game. He fouled the ball down the right field line that would have scored the winning run. It wasn't much more than a foot or so. And if you're David Murphy, it is Murphy's Law that got to him, because he's only 8 for his last 68. And 3 for 19 on this homestand. When things go wrong, they continue to go wrong. And Murphy takes a pitch for a call strike. We're in the second inning if you're just joining us. The Yankees and the Cleveland Indians finishing out a 4-game series. And the Yankees looking to pick up win number 3 of this series. Off-speed pitch, knocked down by Phelps. Plenty of time. Throws the first, and it's out number 1. Now, David, I saw that play by David Phelps. Now, sometimes is it difficult for a pitcher to sometimes gauge how hard the ball is coming back at you?
Definitely. No. A lot of times you start stabbing at the ball when a hitter hits it off the end of the bat. You see, that's almost the case there, as you anticipate the ball coming back harder, but it's more like a changeup coming right back at you. But Phelps is a good athlete. Good, quick feet. One of the better pickoff moves for a right-handed pitcher in the American League that I've seen. But he moves well. Very good athlete.
I like the way that players, when they don't make the play, always look at the glove. Like it's the glove's fault?
Yes. Instinct, yes.
Here's Nick Swisher.
Find something to blame.
Swisher's got a 5-game hitting streak, and he'll take a breaking ball for a called strike from David Phelps. The Yankees load up on the right side with Swisher at the plate, and a new look for Nick Swisher tonight. He's clean shaven. Must have had something to do with the Jeter ceremony before the game. Cleaned up his act. That slider stays outside, and it's a ball and a strike. 3 previous games in the series, Nick Swisher had a beard working. That looks like the Yankee Nick Swisher. Ball's hit in the air to left field. Going back is Brett Gardner. He turns, reaches up, makes the catch. Out number 2. Nice play by Gardner. Swisher hit that one pretty well.
Well, if there's a left fielder and a center fielder in Major League Baseball with any more range than the Yankee left fielder and center fielder, I want to see him. But that ball was hit very hard. Gardner got back quickly, made it look easy. And, of course, Ellsbury in center. We've seen some of the ground he's covered out there. So those 2 guys can cover the green.
Well, from one former Yankee and Nick Swisher to another and Chris Dickerson. Dickerson just coming over to Cleveland at the beginning of the series, a trade with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Dickerson had been performing in Indianapolis. That's the Pirates AAA club. And he's had a good series. He's 4 for 12 as he starts his 4th game in this series. Now he is 5 for 13. Solid single to center field. And he's on with 2 outs. And now making his approach to the plate for his first major league at bat is Roberto Perez. And it looked like he had a good look at the batting average, the on base percentage, home runs and RBIs. I can almost guarantee you he was not batting 9th at Columbus.
Pushed his way through. You almost have to bring up somebody like that when you're doing your job that well in AAA.
You can imagine how he feels. Those knees must be knocking a bit. As Phelps delivers, and he takes the first pitch for a call strike. Perez is a native of Mayagüez, Puerto Rico. I've been there.
Yes, played winter ball in Puerto Rico myself.
Yeah,
Mayagüez.
So yeah. It's out there on the end of the island, isn't it?
Yes, the other side of the island. Ponce.
Into Ponce. See the fire truck in the town square?
Yes.
Yeah. On the ground to the right side. Brendan Ryan has it and will throw out Perez in his first major league at bat. Still looking for a batting average in the major leagues. We're still looking for a run here in Cleveland at the end of 2. Yes, the Michael Kay Show adds some attitude as the animated John McEnroe joins the show as a guest host to discuss the nation's hottest topics. Don't miss the fun when Johnny Mac takes the mic. It's a special Michael Kay Show tomorrow at 3 and again next Monday and Tuesday right here on Yes. Well, you were on the show today, weren't you?
I was. John McEnroe with Don LaGreca were there.
Uh-huh.
Nice to talk to Johnny Mac.
Yeah, I'm sure. One of my favorite tennis players of all time. On our Audi scoreboard, our Audi A3 scoreboard, there's no scores. We go to the third inning. Top of the lineup for the Yankees. Brett Gardner grounded out to first. And this will be his second chance at TJ House. Takes a bunt, takes a strike. In the dirt, and the count will move to a ball and a strike. It'll be Gardner, Jeter, and Ellsbury for the Yankees here in the third. And there is a call strike. With House on the mound for the Indians tonight, will end a streak of 7 straight games for the Yankees in which both they and their opponent started right-handed batters, right-handed pitchers. And that matches the longest streak for the Yankees since 1961. Check swing. Did he go? Yes. Tom Woodring says Brett Gardner went too far and he has struck out. Second strikeout for House. And this was a ceremony before the game as Derek Jeter was introduced to the crowd. This could possibly be his final game, and a former teammate Nick Swisher was there. Another former teammate, Jason Giambi, along with manager Terry Francona, the president of the Indians, Mark Shapiro. Oh, he got a nice guitar. Of course, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame just down the street.
That was a Gibson Les Paul guitar right
that's
there.
A real guitar.
It's as good as it gets.
Yep. Swing and a miss by Derek. Strike one. We told you about the 999 multi-hit games. He had to hit his first time up. That is low. Since 1920, Pete Rose had the most multi-hit games, 1,225, followed by Stan Musial at 1,059, followed by Hank Aaron at 1,046, and then Derek Jeter with 999. Multi-hit games. That pitch is in there for a strike, and it's 1-2. Since 1920. Well, this is 1900, so you're going back to Ty Cobb's days, and Tris Speaker. They were added to the list. 2 balls and 2 strikes on the captain.
Yeah, no flukes on that list.
No. They're all Hall of Famers, by the way, as you might expect. With the exception of Pete Rose. 2-2 pitch, and Jeter rolls it foul. And you know what? I don't know about you, David, but I think 25 years has been enough.
It's a good run.
Yeah, it's a good run of not being included in the Hall of Fame. Because I have a feeling that some of the players who might have been involved in PEDs might eventually get in.
I think you get the general sense that eventually it will happen.
Full count on Jeter, 3-2.
You know, I think, as you see, boy, yeah, 2 Jeters going to the bathroom right there.
The payoff pitch, and that is called strike 3, and Jeter knew it. House picked up his 3rd strikeout. And not many people leave the ballpark with Derek Jeter's hit it.
Nature calls, and that is right there. As you see, Derek Jeter does not argue. He just walks right back to the dugout. Perfectly placed fastball in the inside corner.
Obviously, he's looking for something else. So Jeter's now 1 for 2 to bring up Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury lined out the left field. Little roller off House. Cabrera bare hands throws, and it's a wide throw, and Ellsbury's going to have himself an infield hit.
Well, once it gets by House, this has got hit written all over it. And Cabrera makes a gallant effort and a good throw. Man, a minute closer than I thought. But Ellsbury's speed, too much. Although a good effort from Cabrera.
So Ellsbury at first with 2 down. That is the 3rd hit for the Yankees, and bring up Mark Teixeira, who has one of them. Single to right center field in the 1st inning. House deals, and it's inside, ball 1. That's a Vegas term, isn't it? House deals.
That's right. House rules.
Yeah. And there is ball 2. Teixeira last night had his 37th multi-home run game of his career. And he's also tied with Yogi Berra and Carlos Lee on the all-time list for home runs. He's one behind Hall of Famer Johnny Mize, who played a stretch of his career, the latter part, with the Yankees. 3 balls and no strikes. You know what? I'm turning him loose.
Well, never has Teixeira's power been more important to this Yankee lineup. 17 home runs after missing all the time he missed last year is just sorely needed in that Yankee lineup. Brian McCann has 10 home runs to pace him in this particular lineup tonight. 3rd most home runs in the lineup, Brett Gardner with 8.
Yeah. Well, a few years back, it seemed like everybody was knocking on the door of 20. Back in the days when Jorge Posada was batting 7th, 6th and 7th. Let's see if he has the green light. 3-0. He's taking, and it's in there for strike. 1-3-1. Carlos Lee, El Caballo. He must have faced him a few times. The 3-1 pitch. Teixeira swings at a changeup and doesn't get it. 3-2. Ellsbury will be going. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 down. Pitch is hit on the ground to the left side. Chisenhall has it. Only 1 play. He'll go to first, and that'll do it. Yankees leave Ellsbury on. We've played 2.5. Still no score here in Cleveland. Yankees take on the Cincinnati Reds in an interleague matchup. The first 18,000 guests, 14 and younger, will receive a Yankees collectible truck, the 10th in a series, courtesy of W.B. Mason. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Visit Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankee Clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. We are ready to go to the bottom of the third, and it's back to the top of the order for the Cleveland Indians and Jason Kipnis, their second baseman.
Well, let's take a look at the Jeeps hitters scout report on Jason Kipnis, and he was a breakout last year, a 2013 All-Star, 284, 17 home runs, 84 RBIs. Much different this year so far. Got a sort of a slow start and a power outage. Just 3 home runs so far this season. His last one was way back on April 21st. You think he's going to bounce back. He's going to, as they say, regress to the mean because he's got more power than that. And he's showing signs of breaking out. He's been hot in July. 5 multi-hit games, 8 runs scored in 8 games so far in July, and hitting .306. So the Indians are hoping that he can kind of get it back to where he was last year.
David Phelps steals, and the first pitch is a call strike. In fact, the Cleveland's looking for 3 guys to really come on in the second half of the season, including Kipnis on our Audi A3 scoreboard. No score. We're in the bottom of the third. Kipnis, Santana, and Swisher. Those are 3 guys that really want to get going. There is a pitch that just missed. And it's a ball and a strike. Hit hard in the left field, and it's a base hit for Kipnis. His 5th hit in the series. He's been on twice tonight. And once again, leading off an inning, he's on base. So Kipnis at first. Definite stolen base threat. This is a good matchup. You've got Phelps on the mound with a good move. You've got Teixeira, who's quick with the glove. You got Kipnis, who has good speed. He's stolen 11 out of 12. He might get aggressive here. There's no score in the game. Cabrera's at the plate, was called out on strikes his first time up. There he goes, and the pitch is a strike. The throw to second is not in time. He got a great jump. That's his 4th stolen base in this series and his 12th overall in the season.
You called it, Kenny, and Phelps maybe thought he could just get a quick delivery home and not thinking that Kipnis would go on the first pitch, but he does, and that's on the pitcher. Cervelli tries to save it from his knees, but no chance. So Cervelli will get charged with a stolen base, but that one's off the pitcher. And you'll see why right here because of the jump. He's gone.
Ground ball to the right side, but foul. And it's 2 strikes to count to Cabrera. You know, now that I think about it, they might want to toss Cabrera in there as far as getting going in the second half. It's batting average under 250. In the past, he's been a better hitter than that. 2 years ago, he hit 25 homers and was batting 3rd more often than not. The 0-2 pitch is inside for a ball.
It was a great story last year. Terry Francona back in the saddle after those Boston years, really kind of changed the culture here in Cleveland. They did get to a playoff game.
Yeah, their team had a very strong second half to make the playoffs. Two and two.
In fact, there's a little controversy in the offseason. You know, Kenny Lofton, the former great Indian here that played here so many years, kind of said, you know, they didn't make it to the playoffs. A 1-game playoff is not, you know, a full playoff series. And some of the Indians took exception with that, including Nick Swisher, who kind of got in Kenny Lofton's face a little bit in an offseason event.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Check swing. And did he go? Oh, there's no, I guess he didn't. Tom Woodring didn't give a signal. Well, it's obvious that he didn't go. Cervelli with an appeal.
Well, Cervelli doesn't have the authority to appeal. It has to come from the home plate umpire.
Yeah, Cervelli's waiting for the call here.
You've got to ask the home plate umpire to appeal. You can't appeal yourself.
3-2 pitch. Ball 4, and the Indians have the first 2 men on here in the 3rd inning. Second walk handed out by David Phelps. And he'll bring up Michael Brantley. But a base hit to left field his first time. Well, Kenny Lofton was a part of those very strong Cleveland Indian teams of the late 90s.
Very, very good player, and he's has a strong opinion too. It's just a different game nowadays, different format in the playoffs, and the extra wild card team added.
Cleveland Indians of Jim Thome, Albert Bell, Carlos Baerga, Sandy Alomar.
Both Alomar brothers were here.
Both Alomar brothers.
They were a very good team, knocking the Yankees out in '97.
High fly ball to right field. Zealous Wheeler is there. Kipnis is tagging at second, and he's headed for third. The throw comes in and is cut off by Derek Jeter. And the Cleveland Indians now have runners at first and third with 1 out. Did I forget Omar Vizquel?
Omar Vizquel. Yeah. I mean, up the middle, they were very strong.
Yeah, that year that Thome hit that 511-foot home run, that was 1999.
And that's back when they had a record sellout streak going here at the old Jake, where they sold out so many games in a row. Manny Ramirez was on that team.
Forgot Manny. Yeah.
Eddie Murray was on that team at one point. But the Jake here, Dow Progressive Field, was sold out. I don't know the exact number of days, but they had a record-breaking streak of sellouts back then.
I can see it on the face of the wall out there. 455 consecutive games. Here's Carlos Santana with a chance to drive in a run. First and third with 1 out. Santana was a strikeout victim his first time. He was called out on strikes.
Got the drum going early out there in the bleachers today.
Foul back by Santana. I had mentioned that Santana had played for Tony Pena, the WBC team, and in the first 2 games of the series they had elongated conversations before the game, and I was telling Tony today, all those players that you had on that team, like Robinson Cano and Santana and all the other players, they're going to remember that for the rest of their lives. You were their leader. Throw to first, and Cabrera is back. So you can imagine wherever Tony goes and he sees a former player on that team, they always come over and talk to their skipper, who led them to the WBC title. And Tony Pena, for a period of time, was on those Cleveland Indian teams in the late 90s. Pitch is on the way, and it's a call strike. 0-2 as Phelps has Santana in the hole. Curveball is swung on and missed. Strike 3, a big strikeout for David Phelps. Santana has struck out for the second time.
Well, just what the doctor ordered, and Phelps with a great finish pitch here. That knuckle curveball. You can see it starts out almost belt high and ends up almost in the dirt. Anytime you get Santana waving at a pitch like that on 0-2, you know that it was of high quality. And a great finish pitch from Phelps right there.
So now first and third with 2 down. They'll bring up Lonnie Chisenhall, who flied out to left field, and Brett Gardner to end the first inning. Chisenhall takes one downstairs for ball 1. Now I think John Adams has to buy a ticket for that drum.
Is that the way it works?
I think that's the way it works. I mean, it is taking up space. That's ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes.
One of the things for a pitcher out there when you're in a jam like that and you got a big strikeout with 1 out and runners in scoring position, especially on third base, and you get a strikeout on 3 straight pitches, there's a chance for a little bit of a letdown. See here, he falls behind 2-0 to a tough Chisenhall hitter.
Now he's behind 3-0. And David Murphy is on deck, just in case Chisenhall gets on with the base on balls. Three balls and no strikes on Lonnie Chisenhall. Now a member of the top 5 in hitting in the American League. That pitch is in there for a strike. He was taken all the way.
The reason hitters, as you know, Kenny, take on 3-0 because they figure they'll get the same pitch 3-1.
Well, that pitch was right down the middle, 3-0.
It might be the best pitch he's going to see.
Yeah, he might. That's why sometimes managers give you the green light 3-0. This pitch is hit well towards right center field. On the move is Ellsbury, still going, and makes the catch. Just in front of the warning track, Jacoby Ellsbury runs it down for out number 3, and the Indians fail to score here in their half of the 3rd inning. Ellsbury ranging far and wide to haul this one in. It's no score here in Cleveland. Time for the New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. Call 1-866-NY-QUITS for free help today. Derek Jeter has 8 career 200-hit seasons since 1995. Who is the only Indians player to have over 200 hits in a season? The only Indians player to have over 200 hits. Pitch is fouled off. Hit hard. It is a foul ball. Great stop by Carlos Santana. Have the Yankees got anything by him in 4 days? And the reason why he's on the line, you can see where Kipnis is playing. Kipnis has his right side covered. If that was foul, it was just foul. This pitch is fouled off. No balls and 2 strikes on McCann. Swing and a miss, and McCann is out of there. Out number 2. I should say out number 1. He's done. 4th strikeout for House.
A sweeping slurvy type slider, as we said. He kind of crossfire slings it in there. You can see where that could be a little tough on left-handers, even though
disconcerting there.
Did him a favor. I mentioned about the Yankees. You see Cervelli stepping in his numbers, you know, and the power, the numbers, and McCann with 10 home runs. Down on the farm, Pete O'Brien just hit his 29th home run for the Trenton Thunder.
Cervelli hits one to the right side, off the glove of Kipnis, and on into short right field. Cervelli takes a turn, hold on. He'll have himself a base hit. And you know, with the house on the mound, David, this is my approach to hitting. He's going to throw a lot of off-speed stuff. He's not going to come inside very often. Back through the middle and to the opposite field against it. Everything has a little sinking action to it. Cervelli hit it hard enough, off the glove of Kipnis, on in the right.
Yeah, Kipnis was there, just kind of off the heel of the glove.
On our Lykken scoreboard, there is no score here in Cleveland. And there's Wheeler trying to go the other way, and he fouls it off.
I mentioned Peter O'Brien, a Yankee farmhand.
29 homers.
Just hit between two levels, A-ball and Trenton AA. He's now in AA. So combined, supposedly hit a moonshot down there, Kenny. 29 combined home runs so far.
At Steinbrenner Field this spring, he hit one over the scoreboard in batting practice.
He was impressive in spring training.
Ball and a strike to Wheeler, who flied out to Brantley in center in the second inning. Foul tipped. Sounds like Brian's working on a 40 home run season, maybe more.
I mean, we're halfway through the season there, and you know, obviously it's the minor leagues, and he's a University of Miami product, and he was a catcher, and now they're playing him in right field, first base, trying to find a position for him. His average, kind of a work in progress. His average is a little down. He strikes out a little bit, but boy, you talk about power numbers. That's as good as it gets in the minor leagues.
Wheeler takes outside, 2-2.
Still kind of learning his craft, but
as a hitter. The power numbers are there, though.
Can't argue with that.
No. Wheeler hits one well over left field, way back. This one is gone. A home run for Zealous Wheeler, and the Yankees have a 2-0 lead. Wheeler got one to go, and it puts the Yankees out in front. His second home run since being called up for the minors.
You gotta love that enthusiasm. Excuse me, kid. Yeah. Boy, he's got a smile on his face since the day he got here.
His wife has been with him here in Cleveland. He said he thinks she's going to Baltimore. There's a ground ball by Solarte under the glove of Chisenhall. Solarte's going to hold on as Chris Dickerson gets the ball in quickly.
The only question with Zealous Wheeler's home run was whether it was going to stay fair or foul. And
yeah, it was hooking.
He hooked it around the foul pole on the good side.
Looked like something off speed that just sat there for him. Up there on the flag court. Brendan Ryan takes a pitch outside for a ball. By the way, that ball that Solarte hit, that was an error charged to Chisenhall. That's a tough error. That ball hit pretty hard.
It was hit hard and picking up speed too. A little top spin on it.
Remember, the Cleveland Indians have made more errors than any team in the major leagues. So maybe they're just used to saying whatever. Ball is lined. Kipnis has it. No throw to first as Solarte gets back. So Brendan Ryan, who hasn't been hitting all that well, hits one on the nose but gets nothing for it.
Right on the button. Just right at him. And good base running by Solarte to freeze and get back and not get doubled off on this.
And speaking of Yankee home runs, as you watch Solarte get back on the line drive, on this date in 1936, Lou Gehrig hit his 400th career home run. And there was only one other player who had more than him at the time. That was the Babe Ruth, of course. Pitch to Gardner. And he takes it outside. Now there are 51 players who've hit 400 or more home runs in their career. but those two were the first. A dynamic duo, to say the least. Wow, their Coors Banquet timeless moment. Hit that off Cleveland's Lloyd Brown. Ground ball towards the middle. Kipnis off his glove in the center field, base hit. Solarte rounds. He's headed for third, and the Yankees have runners on the corners with 2 outs. They're starting to get the TJ House a little bit here.
Well, he's a strike thrower, and the Yankees are adjusting, going up looking for first and second pitch strikes. And being very aggressive early in the counts and starting to pay off.
And we were talking about Tony with that home run in 1999. And, you know, Derek Jeter, here's another anniversary. On this date in 1999, he batted 4th for the Yankees. Joe Torre batted him 4th to break up Paul O'Neill and Tino Martinez in the order. He moved Bernie Williams to 2nd to get him going. Jeter went 0 for 4, has never batted 4th again. So that was his only day as a cleanup hitter in the major leagues. And tried to check. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Strike 1. Jeter's had an infield single and was called out on strikes. He's 1 for 2.
Certainly early in Derek's career, he let off a lot in the mid to late 90s. And I remember asking Derek about 3 or 4 years into his career where he preferred to bat. And he, without hesitation, he's always preferred to bat second.
Inside for a ball, and it's 1-1. By the way, that day that he was batting 4th in 99 on July 10th, he was batting .377 and leading the league in hitting. First and third, 2 outs. Yankees have scored 2 runs. They're threatening for more. Inside, Jeter has to jump back out of the way again. Yankees have broken through on a 2-run home run by Zealous Wheeler here in the 4th inning. Outside, 3-1. If you're hitting, you can see House's approach. Tried to move you off the plate. Next pitch outside. That's what you got to be thinking when you're up there. Where's he going? That pitch inside was for a purpose. He wants the outside corner back. The 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Came back inside.
Maybe got a little help from Derek Jeter. That's probably off the plate a little bit.
On the 3-2 pitch with 2 outs, Brett Gardner would be going. You know what? If I was Santana, I'd be playing behind him. Jeter hits the ball well to the right side. But instead, he's going to hold him on. And it's ball 4. Doesn't matter. Bases are loaded. Jeter has walked. And the House is in trouble here in the 4th. Jacoby Ellsbury is lined to left and had an infield single. And here comes Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, trying to settle the House down. Cleveland Indians have made more pitching changes than any team in the league. That's not a pitching change now.
Never a good thing when the pitching coach comes out and puts his hand on your shoulder. You know, that's never a good thing.
Well, he's got a young pitcher and he's got a young catcher. You know, like, guys, let's settle it down here.
Yeah.
That was second walk of the game for House. And maybe more of a breather too, with 2 outs here, just to give him a chance to collect his breath and face a tough hitter in Ellsbury with the bases loaded. outside for ball one. There's Ellsbury's ahead on the count. This inning started out with a strikeout to McCann. Cervelli single. Wheeler homer. There's an error. Solarte got on an error by the third baseman. Ryan lined out as Vinny Pastano gets up, throwing in a bullpen. Gardner's single. Jeter's walk. And here we are with the bases loaded. Ball two. 2 balls and no strikes. This is one of those business pitches for a hitter.
You get chased out of the strike zone. When you start giving up hits, you give up a home run this inning, you're a little bit on the ropes here, even though you have 2 outs. You start trying to nibble a little too much. See those first 2 sliders way off the plate.
There's a strike, and it's 2-1. House has struck out 4 and walked 2. Ground ball to the left side. Chisenhall has it. He'll throw to Santana, and the Yankees will leave the bases loaded. But they do pick up 2 runs on the second home run of Zealous Wheeler's career. A blast, fair, foul. It's going to be fair. And the Yankees lead by a score of 2-0. Quit line quiz, and the question: Derek Jeter has 8 career 200 hit seasons since 1995. Who is the only Indians player to have over 200 hits in a season? And the answer would be Kenny Lofton. 210 hits in 1996. We talked about Kenny.
Yeah,
Gold Glove outfielder.
My guess was Alomar. I thought it was going to be Roberto Alomar, but Kenny Lofton makes sense, batting leadoff.
Lofton played the basketball, University of Arizona. Here's David Murphy, and Murphy will take a pitch low for ball 1. Murphy grounded back to David Phelps, leading off the second inning. 0 for 1 on the evening. On our Lincoln scoreboard, Yankees are up 2-0. Here in the bottom of the 4th. Murphy takes. That will level a count at a ball and a strike. Phelps just misses with that one, and the count moves to 2-1. Of course, the Yankees fly out of Cleveland tonight following the game. They're headed to Baltimore. Start a big weekend series. 3 balls and a strike on Murphy against the Baltimore Orioles. Miguel Gonzalez will start for Baltimore tomorrow night, and the Yankees will toss in the last man standing from the original rotation, Hiroki Kuroda. And we'll have that game for you right here on Yes. Bouncing ball to the right side, slowly hit for Brendan Ryan, and he will throw out David Murphy for out number 1 in the 4th inning. Injured starting pitchers currently on the disabled list. Masahiro Tanaka, elbow inflammation. CC Sabathia out indefinitely with a knee injury. Michael Pineda, 60-day DL, shoulder and back issues. And Ivan Nova out for the season, Tommy John surgery. There's some pretty good pitchers there. And you look at that list and you figure what might have been if some or all of them have remained healthy.
Yeah, Sabathia is a big blow, obviously, too, in the middle of that. Because it looked like you were going to get him back.
Yeah,
he was on his rehab assignment after getting, his knee rehabbed with treatments, and you see Brandon McCarthy there with a good debut for the Yankees last night.
1-0 pitch to Nick Swisher, line towards center. Swisher's going to have a base hit. And Meredith Marakovitz has more about the Yankee injuries.
Well, Kenny, you showed that graphic in Masahiro Tanaka, the one everybody talking about the last couple days. Of course, we learned yesterday that he was sent back to New York for an MRI with some soreness in that right elbow. Well, since then, he's actually flown to Seattle to see Yankees team physician Dr. Christopher Ahmad. He's expected to see him shortly, and we should know within the next 24 hours exactly what's going on with that elbow. So everybody in that clubhouse, as well as the Yankees organization, kind of crossing their fingers that it's not that bad. They're hoping for the best right now.
So you're saying he flew to New York and then to Seattle?
He flew to New York, but there's a big orthopedic convention in Seattle. So Masahiro Tanaka actually flew to Seattle to see the doctor sooner as opposed to waiting for him to come back to New York.
Wow. And plus, if it's a convention, I mean, you can bump into doctors all over the place. You'll get a number of opinions.
Well, Kenny, Joe Girardi was joking. Somebody asked if he was going to see any other doctors out there. Would he see Dr. James Andrews? And Joe Girardi said, I don't know about all that, but everybody's out there. Literally not a doctor left in the East Coast right now that guys typically see. So he could very well get a couple of opinions. And if you remember back to CC Sabathia with that knee injury, Joe Girardi originally said we're not going to know what's going on with him until a week from this past Monday. So this upcoming Monday, and that's because everybody had been out in the Pacific Northwest for that convention.
So a lot of airtime or flying time, I should say, for Masahiro Tanaka in the last 24 hours or so.
Sure thing. I have to imagine he doesn't want to fly much more, but I'm assuming he's coming back to New York then. So he's going to have another long flight ahead of him.
Well, he's finding out what a big country we have here in the States. There's a pitch that makes it 2-2 on Chris Dickerson, who had a base hit in the center field. Thank you very much, Meredith. Of course, we'll hear more from Meredith Marakovitz on the postgame show, along with Bob Lorenz. One out, one on for Cleveland here in the 4th inning. Yankees up 2-0. Toss over to first. Swisher is back. Of course, the Yankees have their fingers crossed, and hopefully not too serious with Masahiro Tanaka. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Good breaking ball. Dickerson's out of there. 4th strikeout for David Phelps.
Another nice knuckle curveball. He gets that pitch going, then he's double trouble because now he's getting the swings and misses for the strikeouts, as well as all those looking strikeouts that he gets. That's kind of an equalizer for David Phelps, and he mixes that particular pitch in his repertoire. Then you know he's got a couple of different weapons to go to.
Well, you're talking about a knuckle curve, and people have heard knuckle ball, but how do you hold a knuckle curve ball? Roberto Perez found the first pitch off.
It's really just about spiking your index finger. Most people keep 2 fingers on the ball and use the horseshoe part of the ball to use the seams to turn them over. A lot of times you just spike your index finger like that, and then your middle finger takes over. and comes around like that. So when we say knuckle curve, it's just a spike where you spike that index finger up to get it off of the ball so that your middle finger can take over and use the seams to turn over and get it to break.
So your middle finger is the one that's the most important as you're throwing that pitch.
On the curveball, yes, exactly. You're trying to almost get your index finger out of the way, so you spike it up off of the ball, and so that your middle finger can take over on the seam and rotate the baseball in a curveball spin.
Perez takes a pitch for a called strike, and it's now 0-2. This is his major league debut and his first big league at bat. He grounded to second. No, why would a pitcher prefer that? Because he gets a better break?
Yeah, a lot of guys feel like it gives them a better break. You're also able to take a little more velocity off of the ball too, because you're only throwing it with just your thumb and your middle finger as opposed to 3 fingers.
A ball and 2 strikes on Roberto Perez. We told you he just got called up from the minor leagues, AAA Columbus.
Mike Mussina had a really good spike curveball, or knuckle curve they call it.
A 1-2 pitch. It's well out of the strike zone, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes on young Mr. Roberto Perez. He asked for time, and it's granted by Brian Knight, the home plate umpire. The 2-2 pitch. He had a good swing and fouled it back.
You ever do sort of a radio interview or a TV interview where you're trying to watch the monitor at the same time while you're talking live on air? That's what I felt like right there. You're doing that. Yeah, I'm trying to moving that ball around, showing people the knuckle curve.
Well, the spotlight was on you, just as it was when you were throwing pitches on the mound.
Kind of watching myself on the monitor, kind of trying to find the camera.
Check swing. Did he go? No, says Cubby Colbreth. So the count is now run full on Roberto Perez. Take a look at the last pitch, and I don't know if it was a knuckle curve or just a straight curveball. That looks like that wasn't a spike.
Yeah, that looked like, maybe we got a little late in the grip there, but yeah, that looked like more of a conventional grip.
Runner goes. The pitch is high for ball 4. Perez has drawn a walk, and now Cleveland Indians have 2 on with 2 out. We go back to the top of your order for Jason Kipnis. So Perez reaches first base for the first time in the major leagues via the walk. Phelps has now walked 3. And now they're going to have a discussion here. Yankees are up 2-0. Cervelli with a pat on the back. Let's go. Cleveland tonight so far 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position against David Phelps. Strike 1 to Kipnis, who has walked and singled. Also stole the base, his 12th of the year.
It's kind of a big sequence for Phelps and the Yankees here. What they talk about is the shutdown inning after the Yankees gave him a 2-0 lead in the last half inning. It's a big deal to be able to shut down the opponent right here.
1 ball and 1 strike.
As they say, get your team back in the dugout so you can add on. On the Cleveland side, they're looking to answer.
Two strikes now. Ball and 2 strikes on Kipnis.
Generally, in this situation, we've seen Phelps go to that 2-seam fastball, that swing back pitch that tries to get the inside corner on a left-handed batter. That's been his kind of go-to pitch in these sequences, and see if Cervelli and Phelps want to do it again right here.
Ball is hit high in the air to right center field. Let's see who's going to make the play. Looks like Ellsbury. He does, and the Indians will leave 2 men on here in the 4th inning. So we played 4 full innings at Progressive Field. The Yankees still with a 2-0 lead. Here's a look at the American League East standings. The Yankees just a half a game out of second place. And actually, we got a game on the Blue Jays in the loss column. Blue Jays have played more games at this point. Here's Mark Teixeira, and he pulls one foul just behind third base coach Robbie Thompson. Ball and a strike on the Yankee first baseman. Teixeira's had a single. He's also grounded to third. He's 1 for 2 in the night. Yankees 2 runs on 6 hits. The Indians no runs on 4. Check swing. He goes around too far. Ball and 2 strikes. The Yankees up 2-0 on a 2-run home run by right fielder Zelis Wheeler. Teixeira, hot ground ball to third for Chisenhall. And there's 1 out. Let's go back to Bob Lorenz in our studios. Well, the Oakland A's with the best record in baseball. They win again today. Josh Donaldson with the home run power. Thank you very much, Bob. There's a swing and a miss by McCann. Count is 1-1. McCann's got a no contact night going. He's walked and struck out. And he fouls this one off. 1-2.
Boy, the Oakland A's are all in at this point and really taking their shot, and also signed a 10-year renewal lease out there for their venue in the Coliseum.
Swing and miss by McCann. He's fooled on a pitch, and there are 2 down. Time for today's conversation, brought to you by Toyota. Prius is the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. And here's how the conversation is going to start. Of the 2 final vote winners, Chris Sale and Anthony Rizzo, who will have the biggest impact on the All-Star game and why? At Jerry Culkin, Chris Sale. He got the win last year. Has the power to dominate for at least an inning or 2 every outing, even against the best players. You know what? I got to agree with that.
It's a nice option to have to bring in the 6th, 7th, or 8th inning.
Chris Sale got the win last year. He was nasty. Fans, follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag YesPrius to keep the conversation going. We'll keep it going right here with 2 outs, nobody on. Francisco Cervelli takes a pitch for a call strike, and it's 0-2. Cervelli got the base hit in front of Wheeler's home run, and that's why the Yankees are leading 2-0.
And the impressive part about Chris Sale's season so far in the White Sox is he was on the DL. He missed 4 or 5 starts. Made 14 first-half starts, and at this point made the All-Star team.
Cervelli hit by the pitch. That's the 2nd time this series he's been hit. And it looked like it got him around the knee, and he is in pain. Now, the other night he was able to shake it off and head down to first base. We'll see if that is the case here.
Looked like a slider that just chased him down and in and maybe got off the side of the knee.
Cervelli's up, and it looks like he's going to head down to first base. Oh, right on the kneecap. That can't feel good. Oh, it's painful just to look at. Cervelli was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning of the opening game of the series in the knee area.
Walk it off.
Well, he was on base last time when Wheeler was at the plate, and Wheeler went deep to left.
It's kind of the danger because Brian McCann is the designated hitter in the lineup. So
Wheeler takes, and it's inside for a ball.
If you had to use McCann to catch, you'd lose the DH. So that'd be the last thing that Girardi'd want to do.
There's a strike, 1-1. Wheeler's home run was his 2nd hit of the series. He's now 2 for 8. He's also flied to center tonight. Fouls it at the plate. Ball and 2 strikes.
Well, he's shown some good pop in his bat. Zealous Wheeler, what a great story. We've talked about really him and Solarte for that matter. 8-year career minor league guys. Finally get up to the show, to the big leagues. Very aggressive. 17 plate appearances, 2 homers, no walks yet, 3 strikeouts.
Pitch is line off the glove of Chisenhall. He double dribbles, picks it up, no play. We'll see how they score that one. Chisenhall, that ball got on him in a hurry, but this is a play you got to make.
I think so. I mean, he's got to go up to get it and kind of over jumps it. You see, he kind of went up too high. It wasn't as high as he thought it was.
Take a look at this one on Yesmo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Now, he's already been charged with 1 error tonight. And this one's going to go as a hit, so Wheeler gets the hit. I thought the other one was a hit too, and this was an error.
I agree.
Here's Solarte, who got on by the error back in the last inning. I thought that was a tougher play than this one. Well, the Yankees have 2 on and 2 outs. Solarte grounds it foul, and it's a ball and a strike. Yankees now with 7 hits in the game and 2 runs. Fastball hits the inside corner, 1-2.
He said that Solarte said that he got the call last night about midnight, sitting in his apartment. He was playing video games, Major League Baseball, the show, and he got the call to go back to the show. So he caught a 10 a.m. flight to get here in Cleveland.
Ground ball towards the hole, into left field for a base hit. Cervelli with the bad knee is coming home. Here comes the throw. He scores, and it's 3-0 Yankees. Yangervis Solarte working his show.
Just like in the video game last night.
Yep. And it's 3-0 Yankees. And the batter, that house hit with a pitch, eventually has scored.
Well, House has been throwing that slider down and in, and Solarte cut him off that time and got it in the hole. And a big hit for Solarte. Welcome back.
And he's knocked House out of the game as Terry Francona is going to the bullpen. With 2 outs, 2 on, it's 3-0 Yankees. Made the call to the bullpen, the Verizon call to the bullpen, and he couldn't bring in the pitcher who was the losing pitcher in last night's ball game. Vinny Pistano gave up the home run to Jacoby Ellsbury in the 14th inning. And he gets the call here with 2 outs and 2 on in the 5th. And he'll be facing the number 9 hitter in the Yankee order, Brendan Ryan.
He's right back in the fire. Good job by Francona. You know, it's a devastating loss last night for the Indians, and Pistano on an 0-2 slider to Ellsbury, and that's the beauty of Terry Francona. He's a people guy, and let's get this guy right back in there, and so he can forget about last night.
Get some confidence going. Ryan is grounded to short, lined out to second. He's 0 for 2. Wheeler's at second, and Solarte's at first. Swing and a miss, strike 1. On your pitcher, you give up an 0-2 home run. You kind of treat it as a learning experience. You certainly don't want that to happen again. Swing and a miss, strike 2 to Brendan Ryan.
You think John Sterling, our radio announcer's having some fun with the names on the bases right there? And we know what he does, you know, never nervous Yangervis, and don't be jealous of Zealous, and the mark of Zoyo on the bench. So you know John's having some fun with these names.
Brendan Ryan's at the plate.
Just, yeah, plain old Brendan.
Yeah. Foul tipped into the glove of Perez, and it's a strikeout of Brendan Ryan. But the Yankees pick up another run here at the top of the 5th. Get a run on 2 hits, leave 2 men, and lead 3-0. Yes Network, your best fan photo using hashtag YesFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown during the game. And that's brought to you by AT&T. You know, David, see that shot right there? Every time I come to Progressive Field, and previously Jacobs Field, I think when you look at the light towers, it always reminds them, brush your teeth in the morning and brush them before you go to bed at night.
Oh, really? Okay.
Don't you see that?
Oh, yeah, I see the toothbrush. Yeah,
exactly.
There you go. Yeah.
Makes a lot of dentists happy out there.
Light tower power reminds me of the movie The Natural.
Oh, yeah.
Or Reggie Jackson in the All-Star game at Tiger Stadium.
Yeah.
Off the light tower.
Famous home run that Reggie hit off Doc Ellis. Ground ball through the middle as Cabrera has a leadoff single here in the 5th inning. In 3 of the 5 innings, the Cleveland Indians have had the leadoff man on. In fact, they've left 7 men on in the first 4 innings against David Phelps. So he's been tough with men on. 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third. And he left 2 men. The Cleveland left 2 men on in the 4th. 3-0 Yankees. Here's Michael Brantley.
It's sort of the pitcher's equivalent of runners in scoring position. You talk about hitters. What is your average with runners in scoring position? For the pitcher, it's left on base percentage. And Phelps very good at it so far this game, although living a little dangerously.
Brantley is singled and flied out to right. He's 1 for 2, and he'll take the first pitch for a call strike. Throw over the first. Cabrera's back. Now Brantley, Michael Brantley being the All-Star game, so will D. Gordon of the Dodgers and Robinson Cano of Seattle. They're the only 2014 All-Stars whose fathers played in the major leagues. Now D. Gordon's father, Flash, or Tom Gordon, is the only one of those who also was an All-Star at one time. That's outside for a ball. Flash actually set up for Mariano Rivera a couple of years.
One of the great characters in the game. Tom Flash Gordon broke in with the Royals. Kind of bounced around. Had a really good curveball.
He did.
And a good personality, too.
Yeah. Mariano said, I think he said he's the best setup guy he ever had.
Yeah, he was tough in his prime. And funny guy in the clubhouse.
He had been a closer before. He had been a starter before becoming moving to the bullpen. In fact, he gave up Alex Rodriguez his first home run at the Kingdom.
One of the best curveballs you would see in his day.
Was it a spike curveball or was it just?
I think it was just a snapdragon.
Snapdragon.
He was funny. He would say, you go up to him and ask him, why do they call you Flash?
Ground ball. Teixeira has it. Steps on the bag. Throws to Jeter. They've got Cabrera in a rundown. Teixeira flips to Jeter. Jeter's going to run it back towards first. Cabrera falls down. Jeter missed it. Falls down again. Jeter tags him, and that's it. The elusive Asdrubal Cabrera made it difficult, but the Yankees finally retired him, and there's a double play. The Yankees had time to get all 9 players involved in this one.
Well, Taylor made Teixeira perfect. Step on the back, throw the Jeter, get the rundown. Well executed up until this point. Jeter having a little fun.
The only thing missing were the unicycles in that.
Yeah, there you go.
So a double play eventually, which goes 3-6, 3-6 to retire Cabrera.
It's good for, we were talking about Tom Gordon, Flash, and one of the great personalities, and you go up to him and ask him, hey, Flash, why do they call you Flash? And he'd say, you better ask somebody. He also had another son that was drafted, I think.
Nick, this year by the Twins.
Nick, it's a
early
couple
round.
Yes.
2 outs, nobody on. Carlos Santana swings and misses strike 1.
Why do they call you singing? You better ask somebody.
A few years ago, as we look at the shift on Santana, the Yankees are playing the Phillies in an interleague game. And Flash was working in a bullpen for the Phillies at the time. And prior to the game, he had one of his young sons. I don't know if it was D or Nick, but he looked exactly like Tom Gordon. If you thrown him in a dryer and shrunk him down, he was exact same thing.
Mini me.
Yeah, mini me. Well, now he has a chance to have two sons in the big leagues. 2 balls and a strike on Santana.
Proud father.
Yeah. Curve. Oh, a nice one in there for a strike. 2-2. So far, he has worked Santana over. Struck him out twice.
Well, right to the outside corner, too.
I use that in deference to you, Tony. You see pitchers work hitters over. Fastball, line to center, coming on is Ellsbury, and he makes the catch for the out. That ball hung up just enough, and the Indians are retired here in the 5th inning. The first inning, they didn't leave a man on base, and at the end of 5, it is 3-0 Yankees as Ellsbury with a shoestring or knee string catch. Highly anticipated shows at Yankee Stadium on July 11th and 12th. Newly released seat locations are now available. Go to Ticketmaster.com for your chance to see Romeo Santos in concert at Yankee Stadium. And it's only a taste of the music that you will get. Should be quite a show. Back to the top of the order in the 6th inning. Yankees up 3-0 on the Cleveland Indians. Brett Gardner reached safely on a base hit his last time up. It has now reached safely in 24 consecutive games. That's the longest streak for a Yankee this year. And he chops one foul. And it's the longest streak in the major leagues for somebody batting in the leadoff spot this year. 24 consecutive games. Ball is hit foul. Now you go back to 2010. Derek Jeter was leading off, or make that 2012, and he reached safely in 32 consecutive games. So this is the longest streak since then. A ball and 2 strikes on Gardner. Levels up at 2-2. Gardner, Jeter, Ellsbury for the Yankees here in the 6th. Popped up. And the pitcher, Pistano, does the honors. Makes the play himself. And there's one out. And Derek Jeter will come up. He's singled, struck out, and drawn a walk. (2001) on July 10th, Derek Jeter hit a home run in the All-Star game in Seattle. I think there's, in every day of the baseball season, there's something that some Yankee did at some time that was exemplary. Jeter line drive to center field, and there it is, his second hit of the game, and he now has 1,000 multi-hit games in his career. And that's going to knock Vinny Pistano out of the game. They want that ball, and it's headed to the Yankee dugout. 1,000 career multi-hit games for the captain. So Pistano is gone. The Indians are going to the bullpen again. We'll be back. Yankees lead 3-0. Sits down with Michael Kane for a new GMC Presents Center Stage. The Bronx native chronicles his illustrious career, including blockbuster hits, A Few Good Men, When Harry Met Sally, Misery, and more. Don't miss a new Center Stage Saturday at 8, only on Yes. Thinking about the honeymooners and Jackie Gleason. New pitcher is Kyle Crockett. Full moon here in Cleveland. Crockett's 15th appearance of the year, 2-0. 6 strikeouts, 4 walks, giving up 13 hits. He appeared in the first game of the series. Pitched an inning, gave up a hit, had a strikeout. That was in the Yankee 5-3 victory. And he'll be facing Jacoby Ellsbury, who's 1 for 3. Jeter's at first with 1 out here in the 6th inning. Crockett deals, and it's low for a ball. How about that? 1,000 multi-hit games.
What a nice big fat round number.
Yeah. High fly ball to center field. Brantley coming in and makes the catch for out number 2. So Ellsbury now 1 for 4 to bring up Teixeira, who is 1 for 3 with a single.
The thing that people tend to forget about with Derek Jeter is, obviously the devastating ankle injury he had last year and all the time he missed. And just recently, he told me by the batting cage, he's starting to feel a little bit normal again, back into the grind and feeling better at the plate. Really, the first 2 months of the season, I don't think he really felt comfortable.
When you miss that amount of time, I'd like to say it's like jumping on a moving train. All these players they've been playing for that whole year. I know he had all the spring training to get it together, but it looks as though it took a little bit more time than that. And the same thing applied to Mark Teixeira. If it was easy to play in the big leagues, there'd be a lot more people playing.
It's just 2 years ago that Derek had a monster year, hit .316 that year.
Led the league in hits. Pitches low.
A lot of talk about his age. He's 40 years old. There's not too many guys in the history of the game who have played shortstop at 40 years old. But he looks to me like he's finally getting comfortable again. I wouldn't put it past him to have a big second half and surprise a lot of people.
2 for 3 tonight. Teixeira takes one inside, and it's 3 balls and a strike. Strike 2. We just got word. Masahiro Tanaka, partial tear of the ulnar collateral ligament. Surgery not recommended at this time. They're going to try and rehab it. It's going to take at least 6 weeks. Meredith Marakovits will have more when she comes back off the phone talking to GM Brian Cashman. Pitch is inside, and Teixeira has drawn a walk. So Tanaka will be gone for at least 6 weeks. So 2 on and 2 outs.
Well, that's the ultimate decision with any pitcher who gets that kind of news from a doctor. Partial tear, how much? And that's the question. Matt Harvey had that decision as well with the Mets. It depends on what partial tear means, but obviously the doctors feel like surgery is not recommended at this point.
Pitch to McCann is in for a call strike.
There have been a lot of pitchers who have been able to rehab. You see Carlos Carrasco, the righty, now getting ready for the Indians. So it is possible he could rehab and be back for the better part of the second half of the season, or at least the last 2 months.
McCann takes, and it's inside, and it's 1-1. So Meredith Marakovits will be back in a few moments as she gets off the phone, and we'll stay tuned. And Brian Cashman having a conference call with the media right now, and Meredith is a part of that call, and she will be back. The 1-1 pitch, and it's outside for a ball, 2-1.
It's funny because I looked over at the press box where the media sits, and it's empty. Thought either guys got out of town early or something's going on. So
Yankees threatening again here in the 6th, and there's usually more people in there than what you see right now.
All the New York seats are gone.
2-1 pitch, and it's a call strike. 2-2 on McCann. Jeter's at second, Teixeira's at first. There are 2 down here in the 6th. The Yankees are up 3-0.
So I guess 6 weeks would put you to the middle of August, maybe. Theoretically, he could come back for a stretch run.
Pitch is fouled off.
Depending on how his rehab goes. That is the interesting thing to look at there. When the first thing you hear is partial tear of an elbow ligament, you think Tommy John surgery, but depends on how big the tear is. And it's very conceivable that he could rehab and definitely be back for a stretch run this year for the Yankees, depending on how his rehab goes.
We understand that Brian Cashman said the tear is small. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The Yankees do not score. They leave a couple on. Into 5.5. Yankees lead 3-0. He's opened up a weekend series with the Orioles in Baltimore. Coverage starts at 6:30 with the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then Saturday afternoon, don't miss Game 2 with coverage beginning at 3. And Sunday night, turn to Yes after the nationally televised game for Yankees extra innings only on Yes. Big series this weekend. And David and I will be there for the first 2 games. And you watch the nationally televised game on Sunday night. David Phelps has done a good job. No runs on 5 hits. He's done a good job of throwing up zeros on the board, while Cleveland has left 7 men on in the first 5 innings. He gets Chisenhall, Murphy, and Swisher here in the 6th. Chisenhall's flied to left. He's flied to center. And hits a high fly ball to center field again. This one's pretty well hit. Going back is Ellsbury near the wall and leaps and makes the catch. Well, we understand that Meredith has returned from the conference call with the Yankee GM Brian Cashman. And Meredith, can you fill us in?
Certainly can, Kenny. Not great news for Masahiro Tanaka, but not the worst news either. He has a partial tear in his ulnar collateral ligament. Right now, they're recommending a rehab program. Surgery is not an option at this particular moment. So what's going to happen for Masahiro Tanaka moving forward, he'll have a PRP injection on Monday. Then it'll be a little bit of rest. Then he'll start doing some physical activity, some strengthening exercises of his shoulder and his forearm. After that, he'll begin a throwing program. And they're saying if everything goes well, he could be back pitching in the majors. Now, Brian Cashman very clear, saying we're not here to sugarcoat things. We're just giving you all the information right now. Tommy John surgery could be an option if this doesn't work, but right now he's seen 3 different physicians, including Team Dr. Ahmad, Dr. David Olczyk, as well as one other, and they all recommended that right now surgery not necessary. They're going to try a rehab program. And Brian Cashman was asked the question, Ivan Nova obviously tore a ligament in his elbow earlier in this year, and it was Tommy John surgery right away that was recommended. Is it because it's Masahiro Tanaka and the investment made in him that you're taking this course of action, knowing what he means to this team? And he said, no, that has nothing to do with it. It's strictly based on the medical findings that it's a small partial tear. And there are guys like Adam Wainwright that have come back from this and they have pitched with the partial tear. And David, I'm sure you could speak to a couple guys that have gone through this and have successfully come back. But this is if nothing happens within the course of that rehab. If he has a setback or the pain doesn't go away, it comes back, more symptoms come back, and he's not able to throw like he would, you'd have to reevaluate some things. And it's looking like if it doesn't work, that Tommy John surgery could be an option. But again, right now, it's just a rehab program.
Well, you get the sense that a lot depends on what happens almost immediately with the treatments. And if they feel that it's working and he's feeling better, then the possibility he will be back in the 6 weeks. It's recommended. Pitches fouled off by David Murphy. But, you know, if it gets to the point where it's Tommy John surgery, you're talking about at least a year.
You're talking about a lot of time, Kenny.
Yeah.
So I think it starts with the injection, the rest, how he feels when he comes back, if he still feels pain after the injection, with strengthening exercises. Through every step, there's going to be a lot of questions asked about how Masahiro Tanaka is feeling. And obviously the Yankees still holding their breath that this is the course of action that's going to work for Tanaka, and they won't lose him for the season.
Yeah, Murphy's called down on strikes. Did Brian Cashman mention the name Adam Wainwright?
No, I just know that that's a guy that has gone through that and has had some success in rehabbing it. It took quite some time for it to eventually catch up with him. But, you know, another question was asked, so what does this do for the Yankees on the trade market? And Brian Cashman continued to say, we're going to be incredibly active. We're going to continue searching, seeing what's out there. I haven't received any indication from anybody to be anything but active and to continue to try to make deals. So this hasn't changed too much aside from him maybe going out there and asking a little bit more about starting pitching. But right now the Yankees continue to try to better this team.
I'm sure Meredith will have more on the post-game show along with Bob Lorenz on the Masahiro Tanaka situation with his elbow and treatment, and also what's going on in this game, or what has gone on in this game, and also throughout the major leagues. So Meredith on the job as usual on the conference call with GM Brian Cashman. Thanks a lot. 2 outs, nobody on. Nick Swisher at the plate. The count is 1-1. So that's it. You have found out what the deal is with Masahiro Tanaka. So it's going to be a while before he's back pitching for the New York Yankees.
You know, and I agree that it is quite possible with a small partial tear. Now, it's sort of the degrees. Is it 5%, 10%? That's really the question. Once you get up to a 50% tear, then you're kind of on the cusp of let's go ahead and do Tommy John surgery. I guarantee you over the last several decades, there's been a lot of pitchers that have pitched with partial tears in their own collateral ligament. They're just very good at finding those partial tears now.
Well, MRIs, there weren't MRIs around when I was playing, so I'm sure there were pitchers who had a little pain in their elbow and they kept right on going.
Absolutely. There's a lot of guys that pitched with partial tears in their ligaments over the years and didn't even know it.
2-2 pitch to Swisher is low, and the count is run full at 3-2. 2 outs, nobody on here in the 6th. Yankees up 3-0. David Phelps. I guess you could call this just what the doctor ordered. Yankees used their bullpen heavily last night. So did the Cleveland Indians. The Indians have had to dip into their bullpen twice. David Phelps started, still in there with 2 outs in the 6th and nobody on. 3-2 pitch, pop foul.
You know, we've seen recently too, Kenny, that everybody seemed to think there over the last several years that there's no risk to Tommy John surgery. Go ahead and get it done early, get it done now. You'll come back stronger and better. That's not the case. There's several pitchers now who have had to go in twice.
Ground ball to Sharon's going to flip the Phelps covering, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Cleveland Indians. David Phelps has held the Indians scoreless through 6. AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to @YesNetwork using hashtag YesFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Oh, what a cutie. That is from Miss Sarah, A402. New pitcher for the Cleveland Indians here in the top of the 7th inning. We saw him earlier in this series. It's Carlos Carrasco, who started the year in the rotation. And David, we were impressed by his throwing the other night.
Well, he's got pure stuff, without a doubt. Above average fastball. Pretty good secondary pitches to go with it. Just 15 walks in 54 1/3 innings. You got to believe that either they think he's just suited for the back end of games and maybe short relief, or he will eventually get another chance to start in this Cleveland Indian rotation.
Francisco Cervelli has been on base twice tonight. He has struck out, single, and been hit by a pitch. Both times he reached base, he scored. On our Cadillac scoreboard, it's 3-0 Yankees. And Carrasco deals, and Cervelli fouls a pitch straight back. Strike one.
You know, the first telltale sign for me, Kenny, when you see a starter that gets thrown into the bullpen that's a power guy, and then he starts pitching from the stretch coming out of the bullpen, maybe he kind of likes relieving. Maybe that's where he kind of wants to be, you know, rather be a stopper or a back end reliever than a starter.
There's a call strike 2, and it's 0-2. Sometimes I feel that the pitchers are better suited for the bullpen because they perform better when they don't know when they're going to pitch.
Absolutely.
And you can't build up those nerves waiting 4 days or 5 days for your start in the rotation.
Great point. There's an emotional component to starters and relievers.
Cervelli swings and misses, strike 3, 1 down. Carrasco strikes him out. And we're going to look at the game changer presented by T-Mobile.
It's going to be Zealous Wheeler inside the foul pole. For Zealous Wheeler, that's the fair pole. And the smile and the enthusiasm is infectious. The youth, nice to see on the Yankee bench.
His second home run, now ground ball to short, as Cabrera gobbles it up and throws him out, and Wheeler's now 2 for 4 on the evening. Yangervis Solarte back in the big leagues today. Carlos Beltran going on the 7-day DL for concussion. We mentioned earlier that Carlos had fouled that ball off. Didn't supposed to be back in the lineup last night. Fouled the ball off the cage. Ball hit off one of the metal struts, came up and hit him. And it was determined he had suffered a concussion, so he's on the 7-day DL. Solarte got on a plane about 10 o'clock this morning, finds himself in Cleveland. He's reached base twice, singled a drive and a run. He's 1 for 3.
Yes, he and Zealous Wheeler have all the RBIs.
Big swing and a miss. And it's 0-2. When guys get called back to the big leagues, you don't have to tell them twice. A lot of them usually know where the big league team is playing to begin with. Just give me the plane ticket. Line drive towards center field. This might hold up for Brantley. It does, and he makes the catch for the 3rd out. Solarte hit it on the nose, but no dice for Yangervis. Major League Baseball season. Things getting a little heated. Right here, it's time for the game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 3-0 the Yankees lead. David Phelps still in there. He's gone 6 innings, 5 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. Zealous Wheeler with a 2-run homer, his second Major League home run. And Yangervis Solarte, recalled today from the minor leagues, has had an RBI base hit. And that represents the Yankees' 3 runs on the board. David Phelps has held the Cleveland Indians in check through 6 innings. And he will be facing Chris Dickerson, Roberto Perez, and Jason Kipnis here in the 7th inning.
Well, it's been a gutsy performance from David Phelps so far. Trying to get through this 7th inning would be a big plus for Joe Girardi in that bullpen.
On our Cadillac scoreboard, there are the totals. Yankees 3 runs on 9 hits. Cleveland no runs on 5. They've made an error. Dickerson takes a curve, and that one misses, ball 1. Dickerson has a base hit in 2 tries. He's also struck out. Check swing, fouled it off. 1-1. Phelps didn't like that one. And gets a new baseball. Did you ever see the video of Ken Kaiser? Remember Ken Kaiser, the umpire?
Absolutely.
The pitcher didn't like the ball. He threw him another one. He didn't like that one. He threw him another one. Next pitch to Dickerson. Line drive, and it's going to be Dickerson's 2nd hit of the night. Let's go back to Bob Lorenz in our studios. Wow. 13-2 in the 4th inning. Texas Rangers are having a rough year. They are in last place in the American League West, tied with Houston for last. Perez takes a pitch for a called strike. I think they've lost 4 in a row. They're 1-9 in their last 10 games. They've had a boatload of injuries this year. And the Angels, they're one of the best hitting teams in baseball. Throw to first. Dickerson is back.
Yeah, the Angels have finally showed up. Been waiting for this team to make an appearance for the last couple of years. And Albert Pujols is back. 20 home runs in the first half so far. And of course, Mike Trout, universally the best player in the game.
And the Angels are on the road tonight, but their home record is 32-15. Perez fouls it off. And he's in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes. 1 on, nobody out for Cleveland here in the 7th inning. Yankees lead 3-0. I was saying about Ken Kaiser. Well, the pitcher threw him about 3rd ball. He didn't like it. So Kaiser took all the baseballs out of the pouches and just rolled them all out to the mound.
I do remember that video. It was funny.
Pick one. The 0-2 pitch, and it's just off the corner for a ball. 1-2.
Watch Cervelli try to frame this and hold it right there.
Perez got a break. Sometimes rookies don't get that.
Maybe a little too long with the hold there from Cervelli. Sometimes, you know, there is a thing that says, you know, angering the umpire if you try to hold it a little too long.
Ball is lined to left field. It's a base hit, and Roberto Perez has his first major league hit, and he's 1 for 2 on the night. And they are going to save that baseball for the Cleveland Indians. Derek Jeter flips it towards the 3rd base coach, and now it's headed for the Indian dugout. And Joe Girardi's headed for the mound. That's going to do it for David Phelps. So the Indians have the tying run coming to the plate with nobody out here in the 7th inning as Phelps departs. Yankees lead 3-0. WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show as the Yankees head into the All-Star break. The skipper recaps the first half of the season. Plus, Joe answers your questions submitted via Twitter. It's a new Joe Girardi Show Sunday at 7:30, and that's only on Yes. So the Yankees go to the tall left-hander, Matt Thornton, and he'll be facing Jason Kipnis. The Cleveland Indians have 2 men on with nobody out here in the 7th inning. This will be the 38th appearance of the season for Thornton. And he has struck out 16 batters in 20 innings.
Yeah, he's been good. Good numbers and better as of late.
Top of the order, Kipnis is walked, single, stolen the base, and flied out to center field. So he is 1 for 2. Two of the next 3 hitters. Cabrera's on deck. He's a switch hitter, but 2 of the next 3 are left-handed batters.
Yeah, so Phelps can only win this game. He cannot lose it. Obviously, it could be a no decision as well, but a good job by Phelps. He had a lot of base runners and pitched out of a lot of jams and really gutsy performance, but he's going to need some help from the bullpen now.
Thornton deals. Kipnis lays down a bunt, and it's going to twist foul. Hit the lip of the grass and made a left turn. Kipnis attempting to bunt his way on base.
It's more of a bunt for a hit. I actually like that play more than just a straight sacrifice bunt. Obviously, Kipnis is a big part of their lineup.
I think he was trying to bunt for a base hit. He's never had a hit against Matt Thornton. He's 0 for 5 against him.
He waited till the last minute to disguise and trying to get it down and get going down the line. That's more of a bunt for a hit.
Now he's in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes as he fouls off a fastball. And as David Cohn says, this is where pitchers start to work over the hitters. There are the numbers on David Phelps, and some good ones. No runs, although he left 2 men on base for Matt Thornton.
10 base runners in 6 innings.
Ground ball off the glove of Thornton. Ryan slips and falls, and the bases are going to be loaded. That's going to be an infield single for Jason Kipnis, his 2nd hit of the night.
Well, it's reactionary when you're on the mound. You just go for it. And that ball was probably heading to center field anyway.
Well, maybe not. You see Derek Jeter standing there. That ball probably would have gone to him.
That's true. Jeter was positioned up the middle there. Upon further review, But when you're on the mound, you can't
trying to make the play.
You can't think about it. It's just reactionary, especially a hard hit ball like that.
So now Cleveland has the bases loaded and nobody out. And their shortstop, Asdrubal Cabrera, who is 1 for 2 with a walk.
Going to make Cabrera bat right-handed, and then of course you have Brantley, the lefty, on deck.
Pitch is hit in the air to right field down the line. Going to be a long run for Wheeler, and this will be a fair ball headed for the corner. The Indians are going to score 3 runs. Cabrera's headed to third. Here's a throw to the plate. All 3 runners on base score, and it's a tie ball game. And just like that, the effort of David Phelps is spoiled. Asdrubal Cabrera with a 3-run triple.
First pitch swinging, fastball right there, inner half of the plate, inside out swing. Right about here, he knows it's going to stay fair up against the high wall, stays in play. Wheeler gets it into the cutoff man. Short hop throw from Ryan to Cervelli, who would have really had to make an incredible pick and a tag there to have any chance at all.
Still nobody out. Cabrera at third, Brantley at the plate. The game is now tied at 3. Asdrubal Cabrera with his 2nd hit of the year, and it's a 2nd triple of the year, and it's a big one. Yankees have the infield in. Inside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes on Brantley. And you can see what he's done with a runner on third in less than 2 outs. 11 of 16. Swing and a miss. First strike.
The amazing part about that stat that we just showed is that the league average just a little over 50% in these situations. You'll get him over and get him in is never automatic, as pitchers tend to bear down in these situations as well.
Well, this game turned in a hurry. Cleveland has come out here in the 7th inning with 4 consecutive hits. 2 singles, make that 3 singles, and then a triple. Ball is hitting the air to center field. Coming on is Ellsbury. He makes the catch, but Cabrera tags and he will score. And the Cleveland Indians take a 4-3 lead. Give Brantley a sacrifice fly and a run batted in.
Well, we showed it. Brantley is clutch in these situations. Thornton with a rare slider. And Ellsbury with a nice catch and just real no chance at this point to get Cabrera tagged up and scoring. So.
Yeah, once he leaves his feet. Cabrera scored easily, and Cleveland takes the lead. Cervelli out to talk to Thornton. This might be a stall to get somebody in from the bullpen. Some more warm-up tosses for whoever's throwing out there. Now here comes Joe Girardi. So let's see who Joe Girardi calls. And it looks like Jim Miller coming in out of the bullpen. So he'll come in with 1 out and nobody on, and Cleveland has rallied to take a 4-3 lead. For the 7th inning, they've scored 4 runs on 4 hits. The big hit, a 3-run triple by Asdrubal Cabrera, and now Cleveland leads by a score of 4-3 following the sacrifice fly by Michael Brantley. Jim Miller comes in. This will be his 2nd appearance of the year, and appearance out of the bullpen. Just 1 inning thus far for Jim Miller. And he made his season debut on Sunday. Did the Yankees win in Minnesota? He allowed 1 run in 1 inning. Gave up a hit. It was a home run. Made 26 relief appearances down at Scranton Wilkes-Barre. And he had a 4-2 record at AAA. And first pitch to Santana is fouled off to the left. Strike 1. Miller's had some big league experience. You can imagine how David Phelps feels after the effort he put forth tonight. But the bullpen could not hold the lead. Miller deals off-speed pitches inside for a ball. Miller's been with the Orioles, Colorado, Oakland, and now the Yankees. Santana has to skip a little rope, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike.
Trying to back leg the slider, and that's how you make him move your feet. Santana, good job of getting out of the way of that.
Once again low and in, and it's 3-1.
Walking down in the tunnel today around Progressive Field, and they've got some little sayings from different famous Cleveland Indian players. Bob Lemon got a Yankee connection, the great Bob Lemon,
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer, obviously Cleveland connection here, and his saying was, the 2 most important things in life are good friends and a good bullpen. David Phelps could use both right now.
Yeah, he could. Number retired, number 21, and a former Yankee manager. Hall of Fame pitcher with the Cleveland Indians back in the late 40s and into the 50s. Foul ball. He was managing the Yankees in '78 when they won the World Series.
The real calming influence. Bob Lemon, a real player's manager, not a lot of rules. On the heels of Billy Martin, he was the calming influence.
One out, nobody on. The Indians have scored 4 times here in the 7th, taking a 4-3 lead. Pitch is fouled off. So the Yankees are going to have to rally. They want to put this one in the win column. Well, the Indians, who had left 7 men on in the first 4 innings. Next 2 innings, they didn't leave anybody on. But in this inning, they have cleared the bases. Another ground ball foul off the bat of Santana.
That's a good point. It's a familiar theme on the Yankee side, too, as they've left 11 base runners.
Yes, they have.
And it just seems like in these type of games, the Yankees have had trouble blowing games open when they've had the opportunity.
Yeah, they left the bases loaded in the 4th inning. They left 2 on in the 5th, 2 on in the 6th. They left the bases loaded in the 1st inning.
They just haven't had that big knockout punch to have a big crooked number in any innings. Obviously, Zealous Wheeler's 2-run home run in the 4th was a big blow, but they could have easily had it on when they had TJ House on the ropes.
Another foul off the bat of Carlos Santana. Count is 3-2. Miller keeps throwing strikes, and Santana fouls them off. So far tonight, Santana is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. 3-2 pitch. Another foul ball. Been 9 pitches in this at bat to Carlos Santana. We're going to hit double figures with the next one. Once again, the payoff pitch. Line towards right field, and it's caught by Brendan Ryan. The shift takes a hit away from Carlos Santana. All he can do is shake his head. And that is the second out.
Well, this is just a screaming line drive, and it looks like a slow pitch softball game, because those are the kind of plays you get, because you get the monster man in those games playing out there in short right, and now Major League Baseball has it.
Monster or Rover?
Rover, yes.
Wherever he was, it was a line out off the screaming liner off the bat of Carlos Santana. First pitch to Lonnie Chisenhall is a strike. That's twice Santana. He lined out to Ellsbury earlier. Ellsbury made a nice play on him. Chisenhall's 0 for 3. And it's a ball and a strike. 2 outs, nobody on. Cleveland has rallied for 4 runs here in the 7th. Got back-to-back singles from Dickerson. Perez had his first major league hit. Kipnis had an infield single, and Cabrera cleared the bases with a triple. Then a sacrifice fly for Brantley put them ahead. Chisenhall has himself a 2-out single. 5th hit of the inning for the Cleveland Indians. Fans' copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Here's David Murphy. Downstairs for ball 1. Cleveland now with 10 hits in the game, half of them in this inning.
Yes, 4 runs, not all in the 7th here on the board. Big fat crooked number.
High pop up, and this is going to be out of play. Murphy working on an 0 for 3 night. He is grounded to the pitcher, grounded to second, and was called out on strikes. Two and 1. There's a check on Chisenhall, who has stolen 2 bases this year. I wouldn't call him a major threat, but there are 2 down. Might be thinking about putting himself in a scoring position. Not going. Pitch is fouled back. Murphy had a good swing, and it's 2-2. Hitters foul it straight back off the screen instead of that pop foul behind home plate, but sort of the line drive, they have just missed it.
Yeah, high fastball. Miller up to 93 with that pitch. Good time to go to his finish pitch, whatever his best off speed pitch, usually the slider. And it goes back to the high fastball, so.
Teixeira drops behind Chisenhall at first on the 3-2 pitch. Chisenhall will be off and running. Runner goes, pitch on the way, and it's swung on and missed. Strike 3. He struck him out. But the damage has been done. The Cleveland Indians score 4 runs on 5 hits here in the 7th, and it's an uphill battle for the Yankees now. To Masahiro Tanaka, partially torn UCL, diagnosed today, will try to rehab. He will be out at least 6 weeks. Tommy John surgery is not recommended at this time. So if the rehab goes fairly well, he could be back pitching for the Yankees towards the end of the season, or as you might expect, down the stretch, if the race remains as tight as it is right now. New pitcher for the Cleveland Indians here in the top of the 8th inning, Scott Atchison. And he will be facing Ichiro Suzuki, who will pinch hit for Brendan Ryan. And the first pitch is a call strike. As a pinch hitter this year, Ichiro is 4 for 6 as he fouls this one off. He's been the most effective Yankee off the bench. 4 for 6 with a pinch hit run batted in. Ichiro steps in there with 2,799 hits on our Hyundai scoreboard. 4-3, Cleveland leads. Ichiro is in 49th place on the all-time hit list. That pitch is outside. It's 2-2. There's a line drive to left field. It's a base hit, and there is hit number 2,800 in Ichiro's illustrious career. And they want that ball. It's headed for the Yankee dugout. So you saw catcher Roberto Perez get his ball for hit number 1. He's got a long way to go before he catches Ichiro. 2,800 hits. He's now 5 for 7 as a pinch hitter this year. Now we have a note. If Ichiro hits at a 300 pace, he's going to need 670 at-bats to get 200 more hits for 3,000. So he's on with nobody out, and Brett Gardner takes a pitch inside. Yankees trying to fight their way back. They were up 3-0. Cleveland erased that in 1 inning. He scored 4 runs in the 7th. We're in the 8th, and the Yankees are down by 1. Gardner takes high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
And of course, if you factor in all the professional Japanese hits that Ichiro has, he's well over 4,000.
Like Brian Shaw up in a bullpen. Ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes to Brett Gardner. He'll be taken all the way here. He does, and it's in there for a strike. 3-1. Gardner tonight is 1 for 4. He had a single in the 4th inning. Speed on the bases and Ichiro Suzuki. And speed at the plate. Ball is hit hard to short. Cabrera to Kipnis to Santana, and that speed has been erased on a double play. Gardner hit it hard.
Yeah, tough break for Gardner. He really hit it hard. Right on the button, off the side of the mound, and Cabrera took it off his bare hand. You can see him shaking his hand. That was a smash. As Gardner got robbed by the mound a little bit. The hump of the mound kind of ricocheted that ball, and you see Cabrera took it off his bare hand. That's how hard the ball was hit.
Only the second time that Gardner has grounded into a double play this year, and that's the only way he's going to do it. Going to have to hit a rocket at somebody. So 2 outs, nobody on, and here's Derek Jeter. And he'll take a pitch from Atchison for his strike. Jeter's had a couple of hits, and in doing so, 1,000 multi-hit games in his career. A lot of milestones tonight. Jeter, multi-hit games. Ichiro, hits. And Roberto Perez, his first major league hit. Swing and a miss. This could be the captain's last at bat at Progressive Field. He came into this series as a .358 hitter in this ballpark. His highest batting average in any ballpark. Pitch just missed. Atchison thought he had strike 3.
Not Derek Jeter, not now.
The 2-2 pitch, and Jeter swings and misses. Strike 3. And that'll do it for the Yankees here in the 8th. We've played 7.5, and Cleveland has a 1-run lead. you by Verizon Fios, making life more entertaining with America's fastest, most reliable internet. That's powerful. Hiroki Kuroda goes for the Yankees. His record is level at 6-6, and he will face Miguel Gonzalez. 4-5 for the Baltimore Orioles. Coverage begins right here at Yes at 6:30 p.m. The Yankees have moved their defense around a bit. Wheeler now moves to third base. Solarte goes to second. And Ichiro is in right field. But the Yankees have the shift on. On our Hyundai scoreboard, it is 4-3 Cleveland. Nick Swisher, the only Indian that didn't bat last inning, will lead it off against Jim Miller, and he pulls the ball foul for strike one. Swisher is 1 for 3 tonight. He's moved the hitting streak to 6 consecutive games. Curveball, swing and a miss, strike two. No balls and 2 strikes on the former Yankee. The way David Phelps was pitching and the way the Yankees were going with that 3-0 lead, it looked like they were on their way to 3 out of 4. Swisher tried to check a swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Third base umpire Tom Woodring says he went around. Swish doesn't think so, but he's headed back to the dugout, and that is a second strikeout for Jim Miller.
Get another look right here. It's a good fastball, and boy, Swisher doesn't think so, but the most important guy does, and that's the umpire. Looked like the old break the wrist, right?
Yeah, the intent was there.
Use your own definition, I guess. Break the wrist, intent.
Here's Chris Dickerson, who got it started with a base hit last inning, one of 2 singles he has on the night. And he now has 3, and this might be an extra base hit. Dickerson has the speed. He's on his way to second. Ichiro bobbles. Dickerson is going to hold on there with a double with 1 down. His 3rd hit of the night. He has 7 hits in this series.
Pretty good series, yes. 7 for 15 since the Indians traded for him. Very aggressive the whole time. All of his hits are coming early in the counts off fastballs.
So Dickerson hitting like he doesn't want to go back to the minors. Michael Bourne is on the DL. The Indians needed another outfielder, and they worked out a deal with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And they came up with former Yankee Chris Dickerson. That is his first extra base hit as a Cleveland Indian. And speaking of first, Roberto Perez had his first major league hit last time up. Swing and a miss. Might have foul tipped it into the glove. Yes, he did. Of Cervelli. Strike one. Perez singled and scored last inning. Perez was a .305 hitter at AAA this year. Foul back to the screen, and it's 0-2. He also drove in 43 runs in 53 games, so a productive .305.
Yeah, impressive numbers for the young catcher.
Miller steps off. If you're looking ahead to the Yankee ninth inning, it'll be Ellsbury, Teixeira, and McCann. 3, 4, and 5 in the Yankee order. A ball and 2 strikes on Perez. Perez was drafted. The draft is in effect in Puerto Rico, and he was drafted by the Indians. 33rd round in 2008. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The youngster is 25 years old. And the 2-2 pitch. That's outside. And the count has run full.
A lot of fastballs from Miller. Saw one slider in the sequence, kind of way off the plate, down and away. Not a lot of mystery. He comes right at you. You got Kipnis on deck too. Important for the Yankees to keep this a 1-run lead right here to give themselves the best chance in the 9th inning.
Ground ball to third, and it is a foul ball. As Wheeler throws across the diamond, it gets away. Perez is running, but it's all for naught. Second base umpire points back towards home plate. Well, the fans got excited, but third base umpire Tom Woodring called this a foul ball. We'll get a good look at this one. You can see Wheeler just foul at the end.
Yeah, if it goes over the bag, obviously in the air, it's fair. But a little left-hand turn.
And it is a foul ball. But Wheeler, you know, he can't see what the umpire is calling. He's got to try and complete the play.
It's very close.
Perez is getting a new bat.
The home plate umpire walking all the way over. They're supposed to have those bats ready, the bat boys. Looks like he might be catching his breath. The catcher take a little extra time.
Well, he ran all the way to second like he should have and thought the ball might have been fair.
Trying to get his heart rate back down.
Steps back in with a full count. 3-2, 1 out and 1 on. It's a high fly ball to left field, fairly deep. Going back is Gardner, near the wall, looking up, and this one is off the wall. It's in play. Dickerson's rounding third. He will score, and it's now a 5-3 ball game. And Perez just missed a home run, but Terry Francona wants this one reviewed. He's going to go out and talk to the umpire who made the call. Now there's a yellow line out there in left field, and I think if it hits above the yellow line, it's a home run. We'll take a look. There's the carom off the wall, and the umpires are going to have a conference here. How close did Perez come to his first major league home run? It looks like it hits on top of the line and then comes back.
Oh, that looked like a ricochet off the pole. This should be reviewed.
And that's what the umpires are doing right now. So Roberto Perez had his first major league hit his last time up. Does he have his first major league home run this time up?
That looked like pole, and the thing that is sort of a clue is how far it ricochets. If it's hitting the padding, then it usually will soften up that blow, but you see it shoot off pretty far and ricochet way back into field of play, and to me that's a clue that it hit metal rather than padding, although very, very close.
That is fielding Culbreth, the crew chief, on the left, and they're trying to get the baseball from Jim Miller.
Cleveland's very confident that it's a home run. Terry Francona's very confident right now. And based on the ricochet, I have to agree. I mean, that's the key.
Yeah, they're throwing the ball towards the dugout as if they expect this to be called a homer. And they are looking this one over carefully.
You look at the ball, you can tell whether it hit metal or not. That'll leave a scuff mark if it hit metal. Pretty good indicator there as well. Almost looks flattened a little bit, the ball there.
Well, he hit it pretty hard. Well, they're going to keep that ball as Perez stands on second base. They still haven't made their decision as of yet. The umpire is still in the headsets.
Very, very close. Judging from the replays we saw, I mean, that is. Boy, that's just so hard to tell, but the length of the ricochet leads me to believe that it caught metal first, right above that yellow line.
Well, the Indians seem confident that it's been a home run, and they've probably seen this before. They had a before replay. Remember, Angel Hernandez called a double on a play that was a home run. They're calling it a homer, and Perez will round the bases for the first time in his major league career. And that'll be something he can talk about for the rest of his life. Had the longest home run trot ever.
Joe Girardi does not agree, so whatever replays they saw.
So that is a 2-run homer, and Cleveland now leads 6-3.
Girardi was clearly not happy because you cannot argue a replay, and he still came out to voice displeasure.
We have expanded the picture. You see the young man who missed the ball. And I think you're right, Coney. It looked like it hit the bottom rung there. And then bounded out pretty far. Jason Kipnis takes a pitch for a ball. So it's been a big night for Roberto Perez. 2 for 4, 2 runs scored. 2 runs batted in his first major league homer. Line drive, base hit for Kipnis. His 3rd hit of the game. Well, the Yankee bullpen that was so solid in last night's game tonight has not been that case.
Well, after a 14-inning game, there's just, not many options for Girardi in this particular game, even though it was a 1-run game a few minutes ago.
Well, the last angle that we showed was the angle that was used to make the determination of whether that was a home run or not. That slow-mo angle. Throw over the first to check on Kipnis.
Usually,
it looked as though it hit the yellow line, but also hit the bottom rung of that metal fencing.
Usually, when it hits the padding, the yellow line is padded. It will soften the blow and shoot it straight up. It won't ricochet off hard like we saw. Generally speaking.
Meanwhile, Cleveland has scored 2 more runs here in the 8th inning, and they now lead by 3. 1 out with Kipnis aboard, and Asdrubal Cabrera had the big hit last inning, a 3-run triple. Takes a pitch high for a ball. Good swing, foul back, 1-1. Kipnis is back. The Cleveland bullpen is busy. They're getting their closer ready. That's high, and it's 2 balls and a strike. There's Asdrubal Cabrera. Indians 6 runs on 13 hits. The Yankees 3 runs on 10. Foul tip, and that got the home plate umpire Brian Knight, and he is down. Cervelli is attending to him, and here comes the Cleveland trainer. And it depends on where this hit him. I don't think it got him partially in the mask and maybe underneath the mask towards the neck. And Knight is down on one knee.
A scary situation, even with all the padding.
Just on the mask and just below it, and down he goes.
A little bit of collarbone in there too. Oh, that's scary.
Oh man. And it looks more like the collarbone that the Cleveland trainer is attending to. I mean, anytime you're behind the plate, got the mask on, whether you're a catcher, umpire, you notice how quickly Cervelli went to his aid, because he knows what it feels like to be hit by a foul ball. Brian Knight is now on his feet, and he's getting a round of applause from the fans here in Cleveland. And it's just a matter of whether he's going to remain in the game behind home plate, as the Cleveland trainer continues to check him out.
It's a good sign he's back on his feet, and looks like he's going to be okay. There's always a little bit of exposure, no matter how much protection you have. He's got a chest protector underneath his shirt, the mask that comes down and protects the Adam's apple. There's always just a little bit of a crevice in there that you can have a little bit of exposure.
And take a look at this again at regular speed.
The angle of the foul ball off the bat kind of caught him in a vulnerable spot, but thankfully he's okay and back up.
And Knight's hanging in there, and we'll regroup after the delay. There's 2 runs in, man on, 1 out, and a 2-2 count to Asdrubal Cabrera, who's had a 2-hit night. Another check on Kipnis.
Almost makes you yearn for the days of the outside chest protectors, Lee Wire style. You know, remember they had the big balloon chest protectors they used to wear outside the shirt and bring it up right around their neck.
I don't know if you'd rush back to those days, Tony, because they didn't call those strikes in those days.
That's right.
Yeah, they couldn't see down the bottom end of the strike zone, but the strike zone was more up in the zone.
Yeah, Jim Palmer style, right? The high strike was in vogue then. It's one of the reasons why the strike zone changed, according to a lot of people.
High fly ball to left center field. Ellsbury and Gardner converge. It's Ellsbury who makes the catch for the second out.
But foul balls back off the umpires back then, they just sounded like a pillow. They just swallowed them up. But umpires felt like they couldn't maneuver as much, couldn't move as well with the big outside chest protectors. And kids, you're going to have to go to Google to get a picture of the old style umpire's chest protector to know what I'm talking about. But they were big and thick, and they really absorbed any blow that came back that way towards an umpire.
Yeah, but umpires at home plate have to rotate on certain plays. They have to cover the bases, and it was difficult lugging that thing around. Runner goes. The throw to second, and Kipnis has stolen another base. He's got 5 stolen bases in this series.
But when he goes, he just takes off. You know, he looks to go early and almost cheat. Just guess and go.
He has 7 hits and 5 stolen bases. And he's in scoring position for Michael Brantley. Hit hard. Off the glove of Derek Jeter. Ball goes into center field. Kipnis is rounding third. He will score. And it's now 7-3 Cleveland. That ball was hit like a rocket. We'll see how they score it. If it's Brantley, I say it's a hit and an RBI. And that's what it is.
Well, this is a rocket. You see Derek gets eaten up by a short hop off his wrist. First of all, Miller with another fastball pumped right in there. And Jeter up the wrist and on into center field.
That one hurt. Jeter still flexing that wrist as the Yankees go into a shift with Santana coming to the plate. Tried to stay in front of it. Ball came up quickly. Santana is 0 for 4. And he takes a breaking ball low and inside for ball 1. Indians have struck for 7 runs in the last 2 innings. 4 in the 7th, 3 more here in the 8th. And they have taken a 4-run lead in this one. Foul tipped into the glove of Cervelli. And it's 2 balls and a strike on Santana.
Boy, up to 42 pitches for Miller right here. And he's in there, taking one for the team right now.
High fly ball, deep right field. Ichiro back. This one is gone. A home run for Carlos Santana. And it's now 9-3. Santana's 14th home run of the year. Ties him with Brantley for the team lead. The Indians are pouring it on in the late going. Santana's hit the ball hard. That one nobody was going to catch.
Now makes it 9 unanswered runs in the 7th and 8th inning for the Indians.
Here's Lonnie Chisenhall. And the pitch is high for a ball. Chisenhall had a base hit last inning. That's his only hit of the game. Ball 3, 3 balls and no strikes. Three and 1. Chisenhall taken all the way. He's walked. The inning continues. David Murphy will get a turn here in the 8th inning. He's looking for his first hit of the game. They're trying to get Ichiro's attention, and they're asking if he can pitch, and he said sure. Murphy, line drive to Ichiro. He won't have to pitch. He makes the catch for the 3rd out. The Indians send 9 men to the plate. And they score 5 times, and it all started with this. Is it a homer? Is it not? It is. Roberto Perez with his first major league home run. Cleveland leads 9-3. Post game for highlights, analysis, and a full game breakdown. Let's get the clubhouse reaction. And Joe Girardi starts on the manager's report. It's all coming up on the WB Mason post game, only on Yes. Stevie Donahue, head athletic trainer, checking out the wrist of Derek Jeter, and Derek said, "I'm all right." He's talking to Brian McCann. It was a solid shot off the wrist. A rocket off the bat of Michael Brantley. And here it is. Tried to stay with it. Ball came up, hit him off the wrist, didn't get much glove on it. And that was a run scoring hit for Brantley as Jacoby Ellsbury takes a pitch for a call strike. Well, the Yankees went into the bottom half of the 8th trailing by 1. Now they trail by 6. Ground ball. Going to be a tough play for Cabrera. Cross the body, and the throw is wide, and Ellsbury's going to have a hit. Ellsbury with his second hit of the game.
Well, once it takes the second hop, it's going to take a rocket of a throw to get Ellsbury. And Cabrera just a little high and wide with the throw, and that's going to be it. Francona's making a move.
Making a move with a 6-run lead. Scott Atchison out of the game. The Indians are going to the bullpen. as they were not able to hold a 3-0 lead for David Phelps. Cleveland has scored nine runs as they go to a left-hander Nick Hagedorn coming out of the bullpen, making his 7th appearance of the season. He's worked just 3 innings thus far, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts. And the left-hander will face Mark Teixeira with a man on, nobody out here in the 9th inning. Stevie Donahue sitting right next to the captain, not going very far.
It was quite a shot that Jeter took off of that line drive.
Teixeira's up there with a 1-for-3 night and a base on ball. And the first pitch in there at 94 miles an hour.
Terry Francona taking no chances here with a 6-run lead. Leadoff guy on in the 9th, and he goes to the lefty to make Teixeira bat right-handed.
In the dirt, and it's a ball and a strike. Hagedorn came to the Cleveland Indians in a trade. The Boston Red Sox came along with Justin Masterson and Brian Price. 3 pitchers for Victor Martinez. Victor Martinez, or V-Mart as he's called now, hitting very well for the Detroit Tigers. Ground ball to short. This could be 2. Backhanded flip to Kipnis to throw to Santana, and it's a double play. The acrobatic Asdrubal Cabrera with a backflip to Kipnis to get the lead runner, Ellsbury.
Very slick, because that ball had a lot of topspin on it from Teixeira's bat. Cabrera has to backpedal a little bit and then a quick shovel pass. And a good turn from Kipnis.
Yankees are down to their last out as Brian McCann comes to the plate. Strike 1. Four runs in the 7th, 5 in the 8th. Turn this one around for the Cleveland Indians. Strike 2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Call, strike 3. Hagedorn gets a double play, strikes out McCann, and the Indians will gain a split of the 4-game series here with the Yankees as they win this one by a score of 9-3. Late rally against the Yankee bullpen. Turn this one around for the Indians as the Yankees will now fly to Baltimore and begin a 3-game series with the Orioles tomorrow night at Camden Yards. So the Indians gain the split, win 9-3. We're going to send this one back to our studios, and Bob Lorenz, who is standing by.